10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Look at what in my opinion, one of the best goalkeepers.
We need you to think you're going to be played against. So they want
I'm a little bit worried for tomorrow's game. I saw a stat on online.
Sergio
has a big bit of wasted stands in a row.
He's going to play at the 9. That is the second. We only have two men 9 in
I know people have gone on about if we lose the cup, it could be a bit of a situation. I hope to God it
Sergio
doesn't.
Productions.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are all having a fantastic evening. I hope everyone's good. I hope everyone is relaxed. And guys, I do apologize, but I did not know, or actually, I wasn't really educated to the rescheduling of some of these games. And apparently, Liverpool and Arsenal are playing today in the Carabao Cup. And I literally found out just before I went live. So if it clashes, it clashes. But you're a Chelsea fan, you got to be watching Chelsea content rather than Arsenal content, correct? I'm just saying. Big up to everyone. Why do I have my logo in the moment? No, I got to take off that logo. Guys, today we have a special guest with us. This is a YouTuber that I follow, and I follow with interest because I think he has a lot of good approaches, perspectives, perceptions when it comes to a lot of the Chelsea news and the Chelsea events, facts. So I follow him, and I've been following him, from early doors, and he's growing, and he has become an influencing voice within the Chelsea. And I am, honored to have him on the stream with us today. And he is the one and only Monstar CFC. Monstar, big up to you. How are you, my man?
Hey, I'm good, man. Obviously, big up to and respect to everyone that's on here, man. Appreciate inviting me on and obviously allowing me to blessing me with you lot's presence in you lot's
our
debate.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
it's our pleasure. Monster, like I said, I watch your streams, I watch your show, I watch your debates, and it's really, really good content and really, really what's the word here? It's educational. It's controversial at times, but I do find it educational because you touch on points and you cover topics in a way that a lot of people avoid. A lot of people try to stay on the politically correct, or what is the mainstream mindset. You don't do that. You speak from the heart, and I appreciate that, and I think a lot of the community also do. Today we have with us the regular panelists. We have Eric Blue, who's just jumped in, and Monster, you have to appreciate the fact that Eric Blue has turned on his camera just for you. He doesn't turn on his camera, so big up to Eric Blue. Welcome.
Hey,
Eric, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, guys. I'm good. Yeah.
Good to have you, mate. Good to have you. Couch Critic, how are you?
Yes, it's here, man. Everything's good. Everyone good?
Sweet, yeah, everyone's good. Julius, how you doing?
Wagwan.
Big things, Julius. Boogie's cold. He's wearing a scarf.
Yeah, man, it's really cold out there, man. I don't think the heating inside can keep me warm. So at this time, in Canada, it's pretty difficult. Yo, Monster, welcome. And first time ever sitting with you on the same panel. Hopefully,
Thank you, man.
Welcome.
Hopefully, we can have some honest conversation with regards to
Oh,
Chelsea.
you will get some honest conversation here. Don't worry.
Listen. The debates here kind of get interesting. But today we're gonna get the chat to dictate the show for us. We're gonna give them the opportunity to ask us anything they want that is related to Chelsea specifically and football generally. So let me just say some. Address some of the guys in the chat. Firstly, big up to Elijah. First one in. And Elijah, you're not only first, you're like an hour early for the stream. So big up to you. Tyrone Talks, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, big up to you. Hawkeyes, big up to you. Abdul B, my man. Tobago, big up to you. Luke Mudway, Elias Ibrahim. Big up to everyone. Sportswire, VJ, Ricardo, Henry, Jose, Bobby Fairview, JJ, everyone's here tonight. Big up to everyone. And guys, start hitting the hashtag CFC. Start hitting hashtag CFC. We will be taking the first question as soon as we hit around 6 or 7 entries. We will request the first question. In the meantime, people who are just jumping in, do us a favor, hit that like button. Let's get this stream noticed by the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new, subscribe. All right. Let's do this. We got a few people putting their hashtag CFCs. Let's draw one. Hawkeyes, put your question in the chat. Everyone else, hashtag CFC in the chat. Hawkeyes, let me get your first question for the panel. I have a feeling we're gonna get some transfer questions. I got a feeling we're gonna get some Dembele questions today. Some Tuchel questions. I mean, I'm not trying to lead you guys into asking particular questions. I'm just saying I got a feeling. Where's Hawkeyes? Has he put his question in the chat yet? Rice or Tchouaméni? I know what Monster's gonna say, but I'll let him say because he's spoken a lot about this on his streams. Monster, who do you go for? Who do you prefer from these two?
Listen, if it was all on a level playing field, I would actually choose Rice. Not a lot of people, know that. Because of the adjustment period and all of that, I would actually choose Rice. But it's not a level playing field. Obviously, the price is the big issue. So with that being said, I would 1,000 take Tchouaméni instead.
Do you think the talk about Tchouaméni possibly not being able to adjust to the Premier League are founded, or do you think it's just people being a little bit too pessimistic in respect to his abilities?
He could definitely adjust. Will there need to be an adjustment period? Of course, they're always, even Premier League players, when they move here, they need that little adjustment period as well. So I don't have no doubt in my mind that he will be a great or very good player at Chelsea because I've seen his ability and what he's capable of doing. It's not going to be a Bakayoko signing because when you look at the two types of players, two prototypes, what Bakayoko was in here was asked to do was not what he was doing at Monaco. So when he came here, there was no shit that he was going to turn out the way he did. He's literally a ball-winning midfielder, like a Wilfred Ndidi. That's what he was at Monaco. And I've always said, like Ndidi, he wouldn't work at Chelsea because he's just a ball winner. When at Chelsea, you need to be more than just a ball winner. You need to obviously be good on the ball and able to pass it and move it as well. So Tchouaméni does offer that.
Yeah, and to be honest, he's been spoken highly of by one of the Chelsea greats in Fabregas. If anyone knows how to rate a midfielder, it's Fabregas. So, yeah, no, Tchouaméni is definitely a player that we should be pursuing more seriously. Panel, Rice, Tchouaméni. Who do you guys would rather see at Chelsea? Let's go with Boogeyman and work our way around.
I will go with the safest one, Rice. Because I've seen what he has done in EPL.
Is he safe though? Is he safe though with a
Uh,
100
yeah,
million pound price tag? Is it really safe?
I'm still thinking. I mean, last year was 100, and I think this year we can still
200.
negotiate that price a little down. A lot of people will say it will be 150, but I think it will go because I think Tchouaméni doesn't want to renew with West Ham when they suggest a renewal. I think he refused it because he wanted to move to Chelsea, and the fact that he was Chelsea boy, and I think I will go with Tchouaméni. I think that's the safest bid for me. If I have to decide, Tchouaméni, there's too many unknown. Yeah, he's coming from France. Yeah, we talk about the adaptation time, but I still think it's too risky. I mean, listen, if Tchouaméni come in 60 million and Rice 90 million, I'll still go for Rice. But if Rice reach double the price of Tchouaméni, then I'll start thinking about Tchouaméni and analyze them more deeply. But at this time, I think I'll go
Boogie,
right.
this is exactly why Chelsea can't buy a player, because they are debating things for an hour when the question is simple: him or him.
Right for me.
All right, Rice. All right. Julius, Rice or Tchouaméni?
Of course.
Easy question, easy answer. Huh?
You know my answer. It's Rice, right?
Rice. Is it Rice though? Is it Rice though? Is it?
Easy.
All right. Let's go with the couch.
I'm not scared of Liga, man. I'm taking Tchouaméni. Reason being, I think that he has more about his game. I think that he's an uncut diamond right now. He's playing the 6. He can probably play the 8. He can probably play the 10 if you ask Cesc Fabregas. And I think that sort of like versatility is what we need in the squad right now. Somebody that can fill multiple positions and do them, at a very high level. So I take Tchouaméni. Nothing against Declan Rice. I think that he has the intangibles that I like at a club. The guy that when you hear him talk, he sounds like John Terry to me, to be honest. You hear him talk, he talks like that. But for me, I still have to take Tchouaméni, man. I think that he has more about his game.
He does have Terry vibes, I have to admit. He does have that. Eric Blue, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think I would take any of them, to be honest. But if I had to choose, let's just take the money out of it. I would go with Rice because, as the guy said, he's been in the Premier League. He's playing week in, week out. He's actually overachieving with West Ham. So I think that is the safer option. I think that is a better option. But in terms of the money, obviously it's difficult with Rice. So I would take either of them. But if I had to choose, I would go with Rice.
All right. Divided opinion, which is understandable considering they are both very good players. JJ is bypassing my super chat giveaway with his own super chat. Yeah, you guys can do that. You can send a super chat. I will answer the question that way if you don't want to go through the giveaway. JJ Bridge is asking, should we sell Jorginho next summer or not yet? Should we sell him? Monstar, what do you reckon? What's your position on this? Yeah?
Yes, because he's got
may I go on?
come this summertime, he's got 1 year left on his contract. He's going to be 31. I just don't see a reason why we need to renew him. So you might as well sell him while you can.
All right. Generally, how satisfied are you with his performances this season, last season, generally?
I think in the cup games he's been good because that is more of his style. But in the league, his style is really, and this is not hate towards him. It's just who he is. It is really hindering our game in the league. But in the cup, his style it works in any cup.
All right. I'm going to choose two from the panelists to answer this. I'm going to go with Eric and Couch. Let's go with Eric first. Eric, JJ Bridges asking, should we sell Jorginho next summer or not yet?
Yeah, okay. This is going to be controversial because I know a lot of people like Jorginho, and I like Jorginho as well. But I think long term he has to be moved on. He's like Monstar was saying, he's 31. I think he's 31 this year, right? So
I think so. Yeah.
He doesn't. I know Tuchel, apparently Tuchel wanted him when he was at PSG, but the way I see it, I don't think he works for what we're trying to do. So I think it's best if he moves on. I know I know one person in this panel doesn't agree with that stuff. He loves Jorginho, but for me, I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, I personally would like to see Chouameni inserted in there. See, the thing is with Jorginho, he is a player who dictates play, Paul. However, he's not so great when it comes to advancing the attack. And maybe we need a box-to-box player. Maybe we need to change the way we played football. And Chouameni in there with Kova, Kante if he stays for a couple more seasons. I think. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. All right, couch critic. Should we sell Jorginho or should we keep him?
I'm always an advocate for selling people when they still have value. You don't hold on beyond that, right?
Good.
So, what, he's got 2 years left on his deal now or something like that?
Yep.
2 years or 1 year? Yeah, you sell him
He's
now.
He's got this year and next season. So after that, we're going to either
he's not going to
renew
improve
or...
on being, a FIFA Player of the Year or whatever the hell he won. It's not going to get any better than that. Clearly the Premier League is not necessarily the league for his particular, pace. Like he gets overrun a lot in the midfield right now. It wasn't really a big problem last year as much, but this year you're just seeing it more and more. Maybe it's because of fatigue, maybe it's because of injuries and whatnot. But I just think that now, the accolades that have been surrounding his name and whatnot, you can probably get more for him now than if you waited another year after the fact. So yeah, I'd move him and I'd look to replace him with a younger counterpart like Chouameni, like you mentioned.
Yeah. No, definitely an upgrade is needed, and I think there is a lot of options out there. Monstar brings with him the super chats. We don't normally get super chats on this channel. we're getting super chats today. People are not going to wait for the giveaway. We've got a question here from Chris. Chris, big up to you. What's going on, lads? Everything is good, Chris. I hope you're doing well. Who is the top 3 best Chelsea players of all time? Wow, has to be Lampard, Zola, Kante. Also, big up to Boogeyman. Yeah, big fan of Boogeyman. I've got Monster in the house. They say big up to Boogeyman. What's wrong with you, Chris? What's wrong with you, Chris? No, seriously, lads. Top 3 Chelsea players. And you know what? I'm going to let Monster go last on this one. Top 3 Chelsea players. Let's start with Boogeyman. All time, Boogie. All time.
Yeah. I will start with Hazard. For some reason, I'll put Hazard, Drogba, Lampard. I'll go for those 3.
All right. So you started becoming a Chelsea fan quite recent then, huh?
Yeah, I know.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. No. Good players. Yeah, great players. And I thought you might come in for Makelele there, or maybe Isian, but nah. All right. Julius, top 3 Chelsea players of all time.
Yeah. I think for me it's Drogba and Lampard and John Terry. It's pretty easy.
Okay. All right. Okay. I see that.
Emotional affection to them. Even though John Terry's personality, I'm not a big fan, but yeah, in terms of football.
Yeah. On the pitch he was great. Off the pitch, debatable.
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah. All right. Couch.
Didier is probably one of my favorite athletes of all time, so he's there for me, and not just because of what he did on the pitch, but also the man he was off.
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna go with. I mean, my choices are controversial. I love Michael Essien and his pomp. I know he only had about 2 years where he's like really at that level, but I think that guy was incredible. Probably one of the top 3 players in the world when he was at his best. So I'm gonna put him in there for myself. And then I'm going to go with Super Frankie.
All right. Eric Blue.
I wish this was a top 5 because I have to leave out some people who I don't want to leave out. Okay, so number 1 has to be Hazard for me. I think Hazard is Chelsea's best ever player. And then
Chelsea's best ever player.
Yeah.
Big statement. All right.
Definitely most talented. Oh yeah, 100%. Best. I don't know. But go on.
Yeah. Look, it's my opinion. Number 2 and 3 are not in order. So unfortunately, it has to be the exact same as Boogeyman, Lampard and Drogba. Yeah.
Lampard and Drogba. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. I don't know if I agree with you guys, but let me see what Monstar has to say. Monstar, your top 3.
It's tough because obviously we had players here that they didn't even get here in their prime. Do you know what I mean? So when they got here, they were past it, and they were way better than other players like Ruud Gullit. I think in terms of the midfielders, he would have been in his prime better than any midfielder we've ever had. But unfortunately, we got him way past his prime. But if we talk about the best, it is probably at Chelsea at least. It's Terry, Drogba, and Lampard.
No one's picking the likes of Dennis Wise, Ruud Gullit, Desai. I mean, those are greats. I mean,
those guys are heroes.
Maybe not the best, but legends.
Don't you think not Wise necessarily, but like with Gullit and Desai, because their levels were crazy levels, right? They won World Cups. Gullit won Ballon d'Ors. Problem is they didn't win them at Chelsea. So when you're saying when the question regards to Chelsea, they're not really, you can't really take them over Terry or Lampard, can you?
For Chelsea.
For Chelsea, yeah. If it's not Chelsea, you say in their careers, 100%. Those guys don't even come. I don't think.
I mean, those guys are Champions League winning players. So do you think we'll be talking about these couple players in 10 years' time as being greats? Do you think they'll reach that level?
I think Kante will.
Kante, yes.
Will.
Makelele should. I don't think Makelele gets the plaudits he deserves. When people are talking about Chelsea's greatest ever players, when you go position for position, who was the best in their position with regards to the all-time greats? You could say Terry up there with the all-time greats in the Premier League. You could say Lampard in the midfield. You could say Ashley Cole, the greatest ever left back. And if you're talking about defensive midfielders, the greatest ever in the Prem, if you ask me, is Makelele. So, or he's one of them anyway. So that's how I look at it anyway.
Yeah, I have the same view, to be honest. I want to give an honorary shout out to Vialli, the reason why I'm a Chelsea fan.
Wow, yeah, Vialli, yeah. I hope Vialli recovers and gets back to full health. He's one of my all-time favorite players. Alex Rednick, can Nostradamus predict TFC's future? It's a broad question, so take it whichever way you want. Take it whichever way you want, Monster.
No, he's trolling. He's not.
Oh, there's something behind that question. All right,
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for the $2, Alex. Keep them coming. All right. Now let's go back to the board, guys. CFC #CFC. We're gonna pick another question. We're gonna pick another question from the board. Who's it gonna be? Let's have a look. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Couch, you're good at pronouncing these kind of names. Let me.
Nah, that one's beyond me, I must say.
Listen. Go ahead.
Totally.
Ntabisang.
Yo, your name is on the screen. Your picture's on the screen. Do us a favor. Put your question on the screen. Let's see your question in the chat. And I do apologize. I don't know how to pronounce that name. If you wanna, type it in a way that I can read it. I don't know. I just can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. But put your question in the chat, and we'll be more than happy to answer it. Tabby Singh. Tabby Singh. All right. I apologize. I've never come across that name before, and it's my bad. While we're waiting for her to write her question, we have another question here from Chris. Will we win the league next year? Big up, Boogeyman. Damn it, Chris. Seriously? All right. Will we win the Premier League next season? I want everyone to answer this, so tell me yes or no and why. We'll start with Monstar. Monstar, will we win it next season?
Depending on the window, it really does depend on the transfer window. But because of how much we've got to do in the transfer window, in terms of outgoings mainly, I don't think we will know.
Interesting. So Tuchel isn't able to do it, or do you reckon the board will not back him in the window enough to get him what he wants? I mean, where are you leaning towards? Board not backing him and him failing, or he doesn't have it within him right now?
Yeah, the problem is the board's bad decisions over the years is what's handicapping us right now, and we've got a lot of players that we need out of this club, and we're not going to be able to get them out because their wages are so high, and Chelsea are just not going to be willing to take a hit on the prices. Like if it's a 5 million valuation, like in terms of difference in valuation, Chelsea won't take that hit. They just won't. They'll want every single penny. So no, I can't see it. All
right. The rest of the panel, yes, no answers. So we can move on to the other question from Tabisin. So Boogeyman, yes or no?
I think he's muted.
No, he's not.
I think he is.
Oh, is he? No, he's
yes.
not. He's not.
Yes, I think Tuchel will learn from the mistake of this season, and he will come back stronger next season.
All right. Julius?
I'd say I don't think so, no.
No, okay. Couch?
I mean, I don't think it's down to Tuchel. I think it's going to happen. If we do anything, it's going to happen in the transfer market. And very much like Monstar said, like the wage bill is too high. We have to clear off some of that deadwood so we can bring in the A-list talent for Tuchel. And if you can't bring in the A-list talent, we're not going to be contending for the title again next year.
Yeah, I agree. Eric?
Based on previous history, no.
Okay.
And I mean history with the transfers.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. The thing is this, we haven't won since Conte's first season. So it's been the most Brahman spell for Premier League titles, I think, since Abramovic took over Chelsea. I think
it's
1 second,
5 years.
1 second.
2005 to was it? What year to 2010? Wasn't that 5 years as well?
Yeah, this is going to be 6.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's going to be 6, 7. If we don't win it by next season, it'll be 7. And the thing is this: I think we need to follow the model that has been put in place by Liverpool and by Man City in respect to backing their manager and giving him what he needs, and most importantly, giving him the time to build his squad. Right now, we are concerned that this might not happen for Tuchel. And if it doesn't happen for Tuchel, then who's it going to happen for? Who else is going to come in and is given the opportunity to build? And who else has the know-how that Tuchel has? So I think it's all about managing the future rather than managing the present in respect to that question. Now the question by this girl is, what is the problem with our players? Club, every time this season we have problems. Players / what is it? Okay, what's the problem with the players / club? Every time this season we have a problem. So I'm guessing you're talking about the Christmas, New Year's period, December, January. We seem to have a problem this time of year, every year. Why is that, Monstar? What do you put this down to?
Well, listen, that is a very good question because we've heard from we've heard from. So let me go back to, it was from Mourinho, but with Mourinho, only one, I think one player is here from that era, which is we figured that out. To Conte, to Sarri, Lampard, and then you heard Tuchel's assistant say this. There's a certain group of players within the team. So a lot of us love them, but they are, what do you call it? When their heads drop, it's very hard to motivate them to pick themselves up. Now you put that with obviously fatigue as well, because of what's happening in so many games as well. And obviously Chelsea have played more games than anyone in the league as well. Take all those factors into place, it's all adding up, and obviously it's what's holding us down. There's just so many issues within the team that needs to kind of be fixed. And we had the chance to fix these issues in the summer, and we didn't do it. And now it's coming back to haunt us. As you know, Chelsea, if you win a trophy, they'll think, oh, you won a trophy with these players. They're good enough to remain till the next season. Let's not lie. There's some of them. We didn't win it because of those players. We won it because of Thomas Tuchel. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but Monstar, do you think we've streamlined too much in regards to the resources the club has coming into the season? And maybe that could have been one of the reasons why we are so thin in certain positions.
Well, the problem is as well is when you've got look at the left wing back or left back position. And down the years you've been buying so much rubbish. You've not been properly scouting good enough players to be at this team. We've come where Chilwell, the drop off between Chilwell and everyone else, because there's like five or six left backs on the books. You could take Ian Matson away because he's an academy boy, so we'll take him out. So there's about 5 or 4 more. The difference between Chilwell and the rest of them, that gap is absolutely humongous.
Massive.
And that's a problem. There shouldn't be 4 or 5 left backs on your books that are taking up so much money in wages and are not good enough to be in this team. That right there is bad decision making from Chelsea. It's terrible decision making.
Yeah, no, I understand that and I see that. And I think it's a problem because we have so much change in regards to the system and the managers that you have an overflow of players that the new manager has to deal with and has to incorporate, and that becomes a problem for whoever's coming in. In
attack, yes, but by the left back, if we're just singling out the left back position, a lot of those guys were not choices of the manager. So I believe Emerson, Alonso, Babaraman, the managers didn't want them in the first place. Those were just guys the board just kind of brought in. Kennedy as well. These are not guys that I don't remember the managers asking for them. They were just like the choices they brought in.
I want a left back. We'll give you this one. I want a right back. I'll give you this one. I think the only one that was chosen is Chilwell by Frank Lampard. That was the only one that was specifically chosen. Does anybody else on the panel want to jump in and give me an opinion on this question before we go to the next one?
Yeah, so Monstar touch on the players. I think the manager, the fact that we change manager that frequently is the main reason also, because new manager coming, because we follow EPL or maybe Chelsea, we know that period of the year between November and December is one of the most critical one. And coaches always said they need to get through that period and just rotating the team or whatever happened, they just want to keep themselves in a title race. But when you have a new manager that is still thinking, doesn't know that period there's a lot of injury that happened, or if COVID has aggravated or make everything worse, Tuchel, because that was his first year, didn't really appreciate the gravity or how dangerous that period is. So if we keep changing, I'm pretty sure next year Tuchel will do better. But this year, he was hit pretty hard. Even you can see him, he's lost. Even when he's doing most of his press conference, he's getting agitated. And I think we'll come back calm. But I think he was also surprised. And if next year we start Tuchel, we bring a new manager, it's going to be another one, same thing. He will be surprised again. So I think the key is we need to at least give a chance 3 years or at least minimum for good quality or top manager, so they can avoid they can make good decision when we reach those time of the year. I think that is the key. Players also, but the manager, we should not be changing
Yeah,
manager. That's why we have those issues over
I
there.
agree with that 100%. I think first, what you're saying is we have to build a squad in the image of the manager. We're not going to be able to do that if we keep chopping and changing the managers every 18 months, because we're not going to be able to bring in 6, 7 different players of the A-list quality. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then if you bring in the B-list quality players like we've been doing the last little while, the B-list quality players don't really reach the heights that you want. You don't win the leagues and stuff like that. So then manager's gone again. So, and then you have all this dead wood at the club as well, right? So, for me, ultimately, what has to happen is we have to at least give a manager the time to see out his contract. Just see out his contract. Give him the 3 years to see what happens instead of just chopping and changing every year. Because this summer, we're not going to bring in five players to suit Tuchel ball. It's going to be 2 players at most. If that, and that is only dependent on whether or not we can get rid of some of this dead wood as well. And then the next year after that, it's going to be another 2 players. It's not going to be some like revolutionary, 5, 6 players in one window. That doesn't happen. Well, that's not going to happen anytime after the pandemic. We already did that, and I don't see that happening again anytime soon.
yeah. And the other thing is,
Losses of like 100 and some odd million.
if you take the pandemic out of this equation, Tuchel didn't do bad. We should have been a little closer to Manchester City if it was not a pandemic. Kovacic being unavailable and Kante being unavailable. Like, it's not just injury. I don't mind the injuries, but the pandemic has worsened everything for us.
Boogie, I kind of disagree to a certain degree, and that is, I agree the pandemic has played a big part, and I agree the way that the Premier League has handled it is disgusting, disrespectful, disorganized, giving advantages to teams over teams. It's been bad. It's been bad. But the problem for us is the position that Monstar mentioned a minute ago, and that is the wing backs. The injuries to Ben Chilwell and Reece James have been the key issues or the key factors in the dip in form that we've had, because they are positions that we rely heavily on in regards to creating opportunities and, before they were injured, also finishing opportunities. And that is something that is not related to the pandemic, to be precise. But I want to go back to the other point that you guys also touched upon, and that is keeping a manager in for a set period of time. Not many leagues do what we do here in England, and that is to have such a congested winter period, Christmas, January. And a lot of managers, when they come into this part of the season, they get lost. It's like, what's going on here? It's supposed to be the holiday season. I'm supposed to be having time with the family. Instead, we're playing games on Boxing Day, and and things of that nature. So the fact that he's gone through it this season is only going to make him a better manager for this period next season. And I think that is where where we can talk about giving a manager some time to adapt and to adjust. Big up to no, I'm not going to try to pronounce the name. Okay, JJ has sent in a super chat. JJ, again, another super chat. Big up to you. And he says, big up Monstar and Eric Blue and everyone. Even Boogie, man. Even Boogie. We will win at least 3 cups this season, including the Super Cup. Hold on. Including the Super Cup. And get top 3. I think we will. I think he's saying if we get that, is that good? Would that be a good season for us? So I'm guessing Carabao Cup, World Club Cup, top 3 finish, even top 4 finish. Would you guys be satisfied with that? Monstar, would you be satisfied with that?
Yeah, I'll be satisfied with that. I'll. It's not the biggest, but yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. Guys, we're all good with this. I mean, we discussed this on previous streams, and this would be a good season if we were to get 2 more domestic, maybe 1 international cup, and top 4. That would be a good way to go. JJ, big up to you. Thank you for your super chat. We will do one more from the chat. We're gonna draw 18 entries. Wow. Let's have a look. Who's it going to be? Luke Mudway. do us a favor and put your question in the chat. I'm surprised no one's asked about Dembele yet.
We can just
I'm
go into
surprised.
that too, though.
We will. I will definitely go into that. We'll definitely go into that after this segment. We will go into that. Monstar, how good are you for time? How long are you able to stay on for?
See what the time was. I think I got like 20 more minutes. I got.
All right. Sweet. Yeah, we'll definitely cover the Dembele question after this. I'm keen and interested to hear what Monstar's position on that particular subject. Where's Luke Mudway? Has he put his question in yet? I can't see it. Maybe he's bounced out. An ex-goalkeeper who has seems to be helping out. I'm not sure if that's your question, Luke Mudway. Luke, if you're still in the chat, post a question. I'm gonna go to the Confessor. I see your question. Confessor, I'll come back to you. Let me see Luke Mudway, I'll come back to Confessor. All right. Let me have a look at this. One of our scouts recently left to Spurs. I might be hopping it. But do you see this as one-off, or is there a chance that our club has finally decided that our scout support? Oh, I see what you're getting at. The scouting situation at Chelsea. What's your take on it? What's your position on the scouting decisions that we've had at Chelsea, Monstar? I mean, apparently we scouted Saúl Ñíguez for a couple of seasons, and we didn't pick up on his deficiencies. So, where do you stand on this?
It is poor because it's definitely poor because when you look at what Chelsea needed in that midfielder profile of midfielder, we needed a defensive prototype of midfielder. Someone it doesn't have to be Kante or exactly a Kante, but in that realm. But they decided to go and scout Saúl, who that's not Saúl's game. So in that sense, that was very, very poor scouting. In terms of the scout that left, which is, I think his name is Taki Musonda, it's Charlie Musonda's brother. Scouts, leave teams quite often. So teams hire and fire scouts all the time. So does that indicate change necessarily? No, I think I've got to see that first. We'll only know when they start scouting players and whoever they buy. That's when we'll know if there's a change for the good. But scouts get hired and fired all the time. It's a regular thing. So I wouldn't look into that too deeply.
All right. Boogie? Yeah, go on, Boogie. Go on.
The scout, we had the older brother of the Charlie Musonda that used to be in our academy, right?
He's a Musonda brother. He was basically brought in to scout to help broker the deal to bring Charlie to the club. They had to give him a job. So,
no. I think other than Charlie, there is another brother that was part of the team. He was playing midfielder also.
There's three brothers. There's three.
Oh, okay. It's not the one
that
was
the scout, and the other guy was in the under 23s team.
Oh, okay, good. That was my question. Good.
All right, we're good.
I don't know if that's. I'm a firm believer. We need to reevaluate our scouting department, like in a big way.
Yeah, they're not doing.
We haven't found. It's not even so much about like not finding, the next big name player. It's about finding like a diamond in the rough here and there. Like the last time we were able to do that was
we buy a lot. Couch. We buy a lot of youngsters. And we bring them into the academy and and develop them. We seem to be all right when it comes to finding talent or raw talent. But when we're looking to find someone who is established, who is able to help out the team and move the team forward, we seem to be struggling with that. I mean,
but that's the thing. The reason why that is because obviously, if you live down, especially in London, South London, especially, Chelsea, all the schools, they have a program with Chelsea, especially. So, because I go to regular academy games, because I got about 7 nephews and a niece who play for Premier League and Championship clubs in the academies. Whenever I go to their games, there's a lot of Chelsea scouts, a lot of them. They're always there. They're always scouting young kids. So, they basically a lot of sports program in London, South London, and other places. They're in tune with Chelsea. So a lot of the time it's easy for them to feed players to Chelsea. That's why you get a lot of good young talent at Chelsea.
So are they still doing it?
In terms of the young players, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, I was at a game last weekend, and there were 2 Chelsea academy scouts there.
So, if you don't mind more, why do our academy, the youth 18 right now, are not as good as the one we used to produce? Like the previous one, we have good one out of them, and then the U18 now they don't look really good. I mean, I'm talking about the
because there was just a massive overhaul. So it was basically they just got rid of almost a whole team, and it's a brand new one coming in. Before it wasn't like that. There was a few players, but because our academy is so good, you saw a lot of them being sold last season. The under 23s, there was about I can't even remember how many were sold. So generally, it was a lot of these guys you see in the academy, like the development squad, they are very young. They just came from under 17 straight up to under 23. So that's why you're now seeing that, it's gonna take them time. Give it like next season or the upper season to see how good they are. But it's because there was just a massive overhaul recently where a lot of them were sold. Samuel, Livramento, Lewis Bate, a lot of them were sold last summer. So now you're seeing another group just coming through recently.
And the other thing too is like they always test these guys at the highest level, right? So like if you're coming through at under 16s and you're playing well, you're probably playing the under 18s. You're not playing under 16.
They're not playing with their 18s.
So you're not necessarily seeing the best of them yet. You're seeing the best of them maybe a year from now, year two.
You saw with Lewis Hall, the boy that played in the FA Cup the other day. He's really young. He was playing under 17 and got shoehorned into the under 23 and straight to the first team for the FA Cup. These guys are all very, very young footballers playing under 23. So the guys they're playing are like 23, 22 years old. But these guys are like 15, 16, 17. They're very, very young.
Makes sense.
All right. This question kind of leads into the question that we had previously. And he's saying, how do we get our recruitment right next summer? So I'm assuming in regards to the transfer window, what do we need to do to bring in the right talent? What we need to bring in? So what changes would you make? How would you address this? Mostly, take us away on this.
It's as simple as this. Ask the manager what profile. It's all about profiles here. Ask the manager what profiles you need and stick to that profile. What the problem is, the Chelsea board are doing is Tuchel's asked for a defensive profile of a midfielder. They're just going, let me get a midfielder. So Saul is just a midfielder, but he's not the profile of it. It's the same thing with the wing backs. When you're bringing a wing back, you bring a certain profile. So what Chilwell and James offer is they are athletic wing backs that can play the ball and are good at crossing and things like that. They got good finishing as well. Stick to the athletic ones. Luka Dean, I don't blame Chelsea for going there or not going there because he's not athletic. So he won't necessarily work as well. So you got to stick to a certain profile. Ask Tuchel, what's your profile? And stick to that. Be very strict with how you recruit in that profile range.
All right. This is the end of the portion where the guys in the chat will be asking questions. I will give you the opportunity to ask questions in the second segment, guys. But I want to use the next 15 minutes, I guess, that we have with Monstar to give my panelists the opportunity to post or to put forward questions to Monstar themselves. So a panel. Whoever wants to go first, what do you wanna find out from Monstar? What topic do you wanna address from Monstar?
Man, let's just do it. What are you saying?
I was hoping one of you guys would say it. Go on. Thoughts on Dembele, Monstar? Where do you stand on his transfer, potential transfer?
I mean, Dembele's he's a good player, 2-footed. He can shoot. He can cross the ball as well. He's like a juiced up Callum Hudson-Odoi in that sense with better shooting. The problem with Dembele, obviously, everyone knows is his injury history. We don't know where he is mentally at this moment in time as well. Is he a very good player? Yes, he is. But where I stand with Dembele is if you're going to bring him in a team, you need to bring him in a team once the team is fixed. So you need to get your priorities straight. If you bring Dembele, considering the kind of individual he is, and now we know how talented he is, very talented, but with where the team is right now and how our attackers are, they're not happy. You bring Dembele into this mix, it will probably get worse. It's not going to get better. Chelsea's problem does not stem in attack. People think it does, but you're looking at it from a binary lens. Chelsea's problem stems from wing back, midfield, and defense. The way we play, our attackers it's no coincidence. Our attackers everywhere, they've been balling out. We saw Pulisic at one point was looking crazy. Ziyech at Ajax. I know people will say it's a different league. Lukaku, we know how good Lukaku is. Who else is there? Havertz at Leverkusen, Werner at Leipzig. These players were looking really good at one point, but then when they came to Chelsea, suddenly they've dropped off a cliff. Why is that? It's because the way we play, the base of this team, like the way it's set up, it's not set up to benefit our attackers. When we create chances, we barely create them. So what we're having to rely on is the 1 or 2 chances we create in a game. And when they miss them, we cry about it. You look at our conversion rate, it's the same. I was looking at it yesterday. Our conversion rate is exactly the same, 10.2. Same as City's, same as Liverpool's. The only people that have higher is West Ham and Leicester, which is outrageous. But they have a higher conversion rate. Now, the difference is, though, City and Liverpool have over 100 more chances than Chelsea. So they're creating a lot more. But you're talking about players being clinical. If you look at Kane, all these guys are even less clinical than the players we have. They just get way more chances. They create more and more and more for these guys, so they score more goals. Our attackers are not as bad as you think. You can throw Haaland in this mix. You can throw Salah in this team, Mane in this team. They will be missing chances the same way our attackers do. Problem is we don't create enough. In their teams, they just create more and more, waves more attack, and then they score their goals. So, and you know, being an attacker and a striker is a confidence thing. The more you create, the more it builds up their confidence, and the more it improves their decision making as well. So until that happens, it's not going to get better. You can play whoever you want in this team, but they need to repair what's behind them. That's what needs to be repaired.
So does Dembele improve that then? Because I'm of the opinion that Dembele at his best could, because he is a dribbler, he is a guy that can attract people towards him and create space for the likes of Lukaku and Havertz and whatnot. But that's only with him at his best. I'm just saying, do you think that he has the ability to make this the attacking, the attacking talent, the attacking intent more direct, more clinical in that final third? I know he's not much of a goal scorer, but just somebody that can create opportunities.
The one thing I would say is the best attackers, if they were to come in this team, they'll make it better. Maybe they will score 1 or 2, 3 more goals, but they will not get the numbers we want our attackers to get. So in terms of challenging Man City, no, we will not be challenging Man City unless we fix what the real problem is. And I don't get how people don't see this, that this is the same problem we've had for years and years at Chelsea, and it needs to be fixed. Start with the base of this team. The reason why we were great under, we've been high. Remember before, back in the day, or 2005 onwards with Drogba and those guys, even then we could hire and fire managers. But why could we hire and fire managers and they were still successful? It's because we had a spine. This time around, our spine is aging and it's one-dimensional. Jorginho can only play one way. Thiago Silva is aged. Rudiger might be. We don't know yet because we haven't fully tested him in other ways. But he might be. It might be for him. He can't play other ways as well. But what Chelsea need to do is when they're creating this spine, and they need to make sure they create a spine that can play multi-dimensional ways. Drogba, Lampard, Terry, these guys, check. They could play in an attacking system. They can play in a defensive system. When we switched from Mourinho or whoever it was to Ancelotti, you saw we went to attacking football with no problem. When we had to go back to defensive football, no problem. That's the way Chelsea needs to build their team from now on. Otherwise, you continue to build with these players that can only play one way, we're going to continue to suffer. That's all it is.
Yeah, I want to bring in Max Burton.
How you doing,
Max,
guys?
how are you? How you doing? You good?
Yeah, big up everyone. Big up Monster. Nice to see you on the channel.
Big up.
Yeah.
Big up. Max, Monstar is going to be here for a few more minutes, so I want to give you the opportunity to address a question to him before he has to go. So, what do you want to say to Monstar?
I just have to drop, guys. Good to see you, Monster. Good to see you all.
All right, Julius. Thank you, brother. Take care, Julius.
Yeah, big up everyone in the chat as well. You put me on the spot here. I'm not sure what's been asked yet, but you know, do you think
we'll go over it? If it's been asked, we'll go over it again.
No worries. Do you think we'll be better off? Because every time we buy a big money striker, it never seems to work for us. You know, we've done it many times. Shevchenko, Torres, those guys. Do you think sometimes we should do like better scouting? Because we've got very good scouts for our youth team. Because if you look at our youth setup, we've got some great players coming through. But where are the scouts to pick the next, the next big thing? Because who we bought as a striker, say, who hasn't really, who's gone on to be really good. That's a no-name striker who's come to be a really good player for us. I can't think of the last striker what we've done. We've bought. You can do that.
Well, it's the same thing because it's the same thing with regards to profiles. The reason why Torres, Shevchenko, who else was there? Remember, the reason why Chelsea had always bought strikers when Drogba was here, because obviously Drogba was always injured. So we could barely get a full season out of Drogba anyway. But when we were recruiting the guy that was supposed to be stepping in when Drogba was here or was not here due to injury, we were always buying the wrong profile of striker. So you buy a Torres. By the way, Torres was finished before he came to Chelsea. And you've heard that from Jamie Carragher. He said it himself, and I believe so as well, because when he came back from Liverpool after that I think it was a knee injury, he didn't look himself. I think Chelsea jumped the gun because he scored 2 goals against us just before he left, and then we jumped the gun and bought him.
You know what? He didn't even have a proper medical, I heard. We rushed for a medical. There wasn't a full medical. Yeah.
Exactly. So with regards, that's probably why obviously Torres didn't succeed. But then the problem is when we were buying strikers during that Drogba period, we were buying the wrong profile of strikers. So the way Chelsea had played that time, they needed a target man. But then when you're looking at Shevchenko, you're looking at Kezman and all these guys, they're not target men, are they? So we were always going to struggle in that sense. And then when we finally got a really good target man after Drogba, which is Diego Costa, it worked out. So it's just a simple thing where if the scouts want to get it right, you have to stick to the profile. It doesn't matter how big the name is. If you're going to if you want to play a certain way, stick to the best player or the players that can play that way. Don't go because another striker scoring 30 goals, but is a different profile. Don't go and buy him because it's not going to work out. Stick to the profile. If not, if you want to go that way, then change the way you play to suit that player. Otherwise, it's just a revolving door that's going to keep continuing.
Another good example, Anelka was probably the best one because we got him for 15 million, didn't we? And he worked well because he dovetailed well with Drogba and he could play as a lone striker.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Good recruitment.
Yeah,
Eric?
Go
on, Eric.
My question is 2 in 1. So you were talking about the profile of strikers. So my question is, was Lukaku the right profile of striker? And do you think what do you think the future will be for Lukaku?
All right, so this is a very, very good question. Was Lukaku there's like 2 answers to this. Was Lukaku the profile of striker for the current way we play? No. Current way we play kind of works for a false 9 rather than a striker, and that's why it looks better when Havertz is in the team. But then you got to ask yourself, considering Chelsea didn't recruit the other players Tuchel wanted, would he have suited that way if Tuchel have gotten the players he wanted this summer? Most probably. And that's why I think we're suffering right now, because we only got part of what he needed. So if you're looking at it as a puzzle, we got one piece, but we didn't get the other pieces he needed as well for us to make those adjustments. And now we are kind of suffering from it.
Can I add something quick to that? So
go ahead, Boogie.
Havertz as a false 9, and even if we have Chilwell available and we have James available, we're still not scoring the way we're still missing chances. So I'm not sure. When you said there's a pieces that Tuchel did not get, let's just, in the best case scenario, we have Chilwell available, we have James available, and Havertz as the false 9. What's the problem at that point? Why can't we score goals?
Number one, we don't score goals. Number one, because of even when those players were there and what's it called, we're still slow and lethargic. So we look good in the Champions League, but in the league, if you guys remember, we were struggling to create good enough chances, struggling to create chances as a whole, and struggling. And obviously, when their chances do come, these guys are not the most clinical players because they're young as well. So if if we wanted to get more out of these attackers, we had to kind of change the way we played. And you know, we could have played guys like Mount deeper to get more out of the team, and we could have done, you know, Kovačić could be more advanced because Kovačić is having to be so deep. Kante could be more advanced as well. We can't do that because of, you know, the way we play. So it's really unfortunate. It really is.
But do you think
Tuchel? Do you think Havertz is not bad? Is not a best first nine? Do we need to find a best first nine?
He's young because he's so young. It's hard at Chelsea because obviously we expect results, but when you're buying these young players, they do need that time to develop. So with a guy like Havertz, his decision making isn't always going to be the best because of he's young, and then with young players comes inconsistency. So it's a very tough question to ask, if I'm being honest. It's so tough. It's not easy to, that question is not easy to answer. But I think Havertz eventually would be great. Yes. The question is, if we want to see him, you know, become this great player in this team, we're going to have to exercise that patience.
But do you think that is the case? Hold on, Max. Do you think that is the case for most of the signings that were made under Lampard, i.e. Ziyech, Werner, Havertz? I mean, Ben Chilwell excelled, Thiago Silva excelled, Mendy excelled, but the attacking players, do you think it's taking them longer to adjust to the Premier League because of the pandemic, because of the time they came in, or is it they're not good enough? I mean, what's your thoughts on these guys?
What people don't realize is, you see, under Lampard, certain players were brought in to do certain roles. So when people don't understand exactly what Ziyech was brought in, I'll take you back to Lampard's first season. Remember, what we used to do is we'll get the ball on the right-hand side and we'll cross. There will be diagonal balls to the back post, right?
Yep.
And we used to score. Pulisic scored a lot of goals from that scenario. Now,
Ben Chilwell as well, a couple of goals.
Ben Chilwell too. Ziyech was brought in for that specific purpose. With regards to Werner actually wasn't what Lampard wanted. Now, the person who Lampard wanted, we don't like. I think all of us here will say no. But the person who Lampard wanted was Aubameyang. Remember, Aubameyang's contract was running out. He was actually offered to Chelsea by his agent, if you guys can remember at the time. They were waiting for Chelsea. That didn't happen. Chelsea decided, you know what? He's almost 30. I think he was 29 at the time. He's almost 30. He wants 250 grand or whatever he's on. There's no point in doing that. It's not a smart deal when you're talking about business-wise, isn't it? So Chelsea said no, and they said to Lampard, listen, but there's an opportunity arising with Werner. He's got a release clause, blah, 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 blah. So Lampard just said, yes, I'll take Werner with that. But there was one thing Lampard wanted to change in particular that he did not get. It was the defensive midfield position. He wanted that position changed because we can't necessarily build up the way we want to build up and hit teams. You see Liverpool, you see how quick they hit teams when they strangle teams and get the ball off them. Henderson or whoever's in midfield hits it straight to the wings, to Salah or what's his name?
Mane.
The other guy on Salah's wing, Trent, or to Mane and Robertson. They hit it quick. That's what Lampard wanted to do, and that's similar to what Tuchel used to do at PSG and Dortmund. When they get the ball, they strangle teams, they get in the midfield, boom, straight to the attack or the wings, and we hit them hard. We can't do that with Jorginho in the team because Jorginho was more of a slow build-up type of player. He's possession-based. We like to tap it around and things like that. Tiki-taka type of football. Tuchel wanted that DM just for that specific reason, but he wasn't given that defensive midfielder. And we've struggled since then because of that. I'm not saying Jorginho is not a great player. He obviously is, but we do have so many deficiencies and we don't move that ball quick enough. Obviously, a lot of you guys go to games. When you go to games, how much do you see our attackers when we get the ball? They're making runs. It doesn't come. They complain. I see Werner, Ziyech, Lukaku. I see them complaining all the time because that ball does not come in quick enough. So it is down to the base of this team. It needs repairing, but hopefully I'm praying to God Chelsea do it in the summertime.
It's not even that. You know what else? The system we play 2 with 3 at the back is also for that reason as well, to protect Jorginho. Like to liberate Jorginho. If you had a defensive midfielder who was more of a an anchor, ball winner in that position, you could now play with two central defenders and that defensive midfielder who can also advance the ball. It gives you a lot more attacking options going forward.
It can also be more risky.
And also put Mount back into his natural role too. Put Mount in the midfield, play him as an 8. And he
can also be way more riskier than because one of the reasons why I feel the players are more conservative is because if they lose that ball, we're really you know what happens when we lose the ball. We get hit, and unfortunately Jorginho doesn't have the ability, or it's not his fault. He just doesn't have the legs to cover ground. That's why we are so dependent on Kante. Kante's it hurts me to say, but he's looking like a shell of himself. It's starting to catch up to him.
Right, money no object. Declan Rice or Tchouaméni?
Money no object. We covered that, but I would. If money was no object, I would take Declan Rice because he is. I do think Tchouaméni is a better all-round player, but I take into consideration adjustment period. So I would take Declan Rice.
Monstar, Mason Mount, and I know one of your panelists always brings up this topic. Mason Mount, is he being overused, overplayed? Does he need a break? What's your stance on the way he's been utilized?
I said this in a Twitter space days before the City game. I was asking him. I said, I went to the Tottenham game, both, and I watched Mason Mount. He's exhausted. He's finished. Like, he needs a rest. And I think that was the main reason why Tuchel didn't use him against City. The kid is shattered. And if we're not careful, he will get injured, or we risk this kid burning out as early as Fabregas and Wayne Rooney did. If we are not careful, he will burn out because he's playing too many minutes.
Yeah, me and Max had a conversation about that, and we linked it to Michael Owen and Buffalo at the time.
Yeah. He will burn out. He will.
Listen, I think to disagree with that burnout. I mean, you guys given a few cases as example, Michael Owen, but I think 90% of the player, most of professionals have started younger also, and they play up to 35. I mean, a few of the best ones have problem, but there is a majority that make it through, right? So
but look how they use.
Go ahead. Yeah.
How many games are they playing? Yeah, how many games are they playing? Mason Mount over the last few seasons, I think he's way over 100 games already. Like, that's crazy at his age. That is, at this level, that is outrageous. That should not be the case.
And let's not forget, like, even this first season under Frank at Chelsea, come after the Christmas period, he was burnt. Nobody can deny that after the Christmas period, his levels didn't drop off the first season and then pick up again later on. Like, we're in the exact same stretch right now where his levels has dropped off again. Just again, you guys are right. It's fatigue and overuse. They need to like rotate him a lot more, seasons coming forward. I'm not just talking about now. I'm talking about like at the beginning of the season, give him more rotational role rather than indispensable, midfielder in the squad. That's how I feel it is. He looks like he's shattered right now.
And if you look at Trent Alexander last season, remember he dropped off and he didn't get to the England squad. Then he got that injury that allowed him to rest, and now he's come back to the Trent that we know. Because he's, sometimes you do need that rest at a young age. Manchester United, Alex Ferguson was great with Ryan Giggs. Remember the way he used to use him, and he went on to play till 39, 40, and that's because he used him sparingly when he was young.
I understand the fact that there's a good. Taking a break is good for muscles and all those things, but I just don't think it is a major parameters when it comes to longevity in a football career. I just think you manage yourself good, you stay away of bad behaviors. You should be able to make, even if you play 100 game every 2 seasons. I think if you live your life properly, take care of yourself, you should be able to make it through. I just don't think that is a major issue. It's just overstated. people keep talking about it.
I think football is doing a lot more now than they even did 20 years ago.
Yeah. Another thing as well is where the players are like pressing a lot higher up the pitch than they used to. So during Fergie's days and all those days, the pressing wasn't, the attackers weren't pressing as hard as much as they are now. Even when you look at Liverpool, the way Klopp uses his players, he barely play. He foregoes the cup games for the Premier League and the Champions League. So the main players don't really get cup minutes like that. He leaves that to the younger boys and things like that. That's why they always get dumped out. But he made that, and that's why their players are able to go through a lot of the season without getting injured, because constantly he would save them for the cup games. He would be saying, no bother. And he would use them again in the Premier League and the Champions League only.
You see what Jose Mourinho used to do with us, yeah? When we were 2-0 up, he just used to say, preserve energy, get ready for the next game. So we just used to knock the ball around. We didn't used to go, and that's why we didn't get a lot of injuries when Mourinho was our manager. But as Monsters say, because we play more of a high energy, high pressing game, it's more physical now, and people are going to get more injuries.
And the number of games just keeps increasing. It just keeps getting more and more. So,
and they've barely got any rest. They look at Jorginho. Yeah, Jorginho. Was at the Euros. He didn't even get much rest. Neither did Mount. Yeah. These guys were at the Euro final, and all of a sudden they're still here now, just going and going and going. They're not giving these players any rest at all. And then we're gonna hope. I think at the end of this season we finally get pre-season, but the World Cup comes again in December. It's like they really and now they want to change it to make it the Euros and the World Cup every 2 years. They really want to kill these players, man. Really do.
And then the Champions League, the new format, more games.
Yeah, that too.
And they're not even taking into consideration the quality of the football. That's the thing.
Like, that's a big problem.
Chelsea's level right now is terrible right now. But it's not just Chelsea. Every team in the Premier League right now is not playing good football. It just does not look good, and it's because these players are getting run into the ground, man. Like it's not going to get better. You're trying to build a brand where the Premier League being the best football in the world, the most entertaining, and then you see what's on display right now. You're just like, oh, really? That's the best football in the world right now. Like these guys can barely run.
I want to divert or digress in topics. I know we've gone past the time that Monster allocated, and I hope he can give us a couple more minutes. And just want to address one final topic. Monster, you're active on social media. You have a lot of opinion. You have a lot of opinions. You do your own shows on Twitter. I'm not really too clued up on Twitter, but I think you have MySpace, where you discuss a lot of topics. Yeah, you discuss a lot of topics. Twitter has been quite toxic in respect to a lot of issues, but specifically the Chelsea timeline. There's a lot of controversial views, controversial opinions when it comes to a lot of topics related to Chelsea. You, as a person who is active on this platform, what advice can you give people navigating this world of Twitter and this toxicity, and how to best approach it? Because I've seen a lot of people just switching off and leaving Twitter and leaving the good things that Twitter does have, which is direct access to a lot of the information, a lot of the news, a lot of the sources. But people, because of the toxic environment, are leaving Twitter. How do you advise people to handle this particular platform, and what would you tell them to do in respect to these bad vibes that we're seeing?
Well, I mean, what I do anyway is if I drop an opinion, generally I just mute the conversation straight after, and then my DM, it's open now, but I normally close it at times as well, because the problem we have is people, listen, whether you agree with someone's opinion or not, it's their opinion. So, it's not, we're diverse as human beings, so it would be boring if all of us thought the same way. So obviously people are going to think differently to you. You just got to respect that person's thoughts and feelings, innit? So that's the issue we have. And the problem is as well, it's a lot of kids, so they're just very disrespectful. They don't know how to interact or talk to people, so it's just wild, and it's just a wild app in general. It's a wild app,
So handle with care is the best advice, I guess. Yeah, handle 100%. With care.
I feel 100%. Sorry for because I always hear. I was talking to someone earlier on today on another person's channel. He was like, I can't even, tweet my opinion because he was saying in the video, I felt bad for him. He's like, I can't even tweet my opinion because I know people are going to attack me for it. It's like, that's how it is. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, true. Let me just have a look.
Has anyone asked a big question to Monstar though? The number one question. What's up to class ref?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, man!
You guys had him on your
man. Yeah, listen. His first appearance was actually on Max Burton's channel. He came out with some controversial comments as he normally does. We put a stop to it. We saw him then again on this channel. Again, we put a stop to it. And the thing is with him, he does have a good opinion at times. He does have a logical mindset at times, but he destroys it with his irrational opinions that follow it. So I don't know if he's bantering, if he's trolling, but I do think he has got an opinion, a footballing opinion. Agree or disagree, it's an opinion. So. Max, what do you want to know about Classic, man? I mean, what do you want to know?
I haven't seen him for ages.
No, he's around. He's around.
I saw him like last week or the week before on Carefree Lewis's channel.
Carefree Lewis, yeah, that's what I saw him. Yeah, Carefree Lewis. He's around. He might even be watching this, and he probably just. I'm not sure if he's on my block list now because he might not be able to comment on the stream. No. Classic, if you're hearing this, you're not blocked, man. Just be careful. I've got a lot of filters on my algorithms, so you might not be able to say anything.
Actually, the reason I did ask about him because it was kind of related. Remember, I'm not sure Monstar because he came on here once and he said he felt like taking his life once because he was getting a lot of abuse, wasn't he? He's getting loads of abuse.
Yes. He jumped on Twitter for a little tiny bit and he was getting a lot of abuse.
That I did not know. No, that I did not know.
Yeah,
can I ask a question? What do you think of Tuchel demeanor? He looks really tired. I mean, he said he's given 2 days to the player, but I think he's the one that needs 2 days off, right? So,
Monstar, before you answer this question, the time is yours. So, if you need to go, if you want to stay, the time is yours.
I think he's exhausted because he didn't even come in during the December period. He came in January once that was all over. So I do think he's exhausted. Sometimes you can see it in Klopp's face. He's exhausted as well. During the December period, he does not like the December period as well either. With Pep, it's easier for him because he has the squad. So it's nothing for him. If one player goes down, but he's got another. And if that one goes down, he probably has another too. So it's way easier for him.
Yeah, talking about the December period, actually, because we were having a conversation about this a few days ago. Do you think he would have been better served if he had somebody with a bit of experience with him as a assistant manager? Because, we've seen it before with Paul Clement. I think Ancelotti had him. We had... what's his name? Steve Holland. Steve Clark with Mourinho, and maybe because somebody who can show him how to navigate this Christmas period. Because I think obviously we had a lot of injuries and suspensions and things, but it's good to have that someone with a little bit of a Premier League experience who can help him. What do you think about that?
I think it's I don't even think it's that. I think it's more that he doesn't have the squad he would have liked to have to be able to compete with the obviously Man City mainly. So I think it would have been so much easier for him if he had the squad. So if injuries happen, then he would have been in a better place. I think that's the main problem he probably has, is that his squad is struggling. It's wafer thin.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe those guys could have helped him. Maybe, but
I just think you need somebody. You need somebody on the bench that's been through it before. Because one thing that obviously
there's Anthony Barry, right? Anthony Barry's there. He was Anthony Barry.
Was he on the staff?
Yeah, but he's kind of he's still there. He's on the staff, but he's not able to.
Yeah, he is there.
Yeah, because he just had his coaching badges a couple of. He met Frank Lampard when he was doing his coaching badges. So he's relatively inexperienced as well.
Yeah,
I think at least the first season he may need someone like that, and if he managed to go through the next winter with Chelsea, he will get enough experience to make his own decision. But the first one,
it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve.
maybe
He'll learn.
someone.
He will learn from this point. I mean, he will learn. You know, it's his first full season in charge, so now he's seen what it's like. The same way Guardiola learned as well in his first full season. It weren't a good season. His first season either.
No,
you know? He struggled.
I think he was 7th in the league or something, or 8th.
Oh, he finished third.
He finished second or third.
Yeah, it wasn't second. It wasn't second. He finished like
second or third. He didn't finish far off of that. Like
Yeah,
they were
Manchester
expected to win
City,
the
first season.
Yeah.
They were in the Champions League spots for.
Yeah, they got. I think it was third or fourth. But let me just see exactly.
So who are we talking about?
Manchester Pep first EPL
No,
season.
Pep did. Yeah, Pep did get in. He just about got in. I think they finished 4th.
They struggled. They finished third.
Yeah,
Tottenham struggled
that
that
year.
season. They struggled a lot. He finished with 78 points. Wow, just two in front of Liverpool.
I wanna
and 3 in front of Arsenal.
I wanna address one key point that is currently being talked about, and that is the way the media is addressing the Chelsea squad and specifically the Chelsea dressing room. Certain journalists are pushing a narrative that there is dissent within the dressing room. There are players that are unhappy. There are players who are causing a bit of friction within the dressing room, and they are taking every advantage they get. Lukaku and Ziyech having a chat as they're walking off the pitch. They interpreted that as dissent. You know, every little advantage or every little situation they can use to push that narrative. They're doing it. Do you think there is substance to it, or do you think it really is, purely an agenda against Chelsea Football Club? How do you see it from your standpoint?
Okay, with regards to Lukaku and Ziyech, that's normal. I can take you back to, if you guys remember, I think it was against Tottenham. Diego Costa, Pedro arguing on the pitch because I think Pedro didn't play a good ball into him. He wasn't happy about that. And they were arguing before halftime exactly the same way. In fact, their argument looked way more intense. They were screaming at each other. So that's regular in football, because in football, if Lukaku wanted it at his feet, Ziyech obviously played it out wide and he had to run after it. That happens. That's just part of football. With regards to the way the journalists are reporting, that's journalists. They're opportunistic. So they're going to take every chance they can because they got to sell papers. They got to garner clicks. They've got to do that. It's just down to the Chelsea fan base. How are we going to obviously consume that, and how are we going to react? Because a lot of when Matt Law put out his piece, not the recent one, the one before that, that was an opinion piece. But people didn't read it. They just read the headline and took it as, Matt Law saying Tuchel's going to get sacked, blah, 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 blah. But it was like, did you read the piece? If you did read it, you would have seen that he was just giving an opinion and going off what has happened before. So people need to read more. Read what, rather than just looking at the headline. Please read the actual thing. With regards to the what's it called? The players in the changing room. There's something. I don't know if this is true, but there was something someone told me, and it's that the attackers are not happy with the way Chelsea are playing. Now, listen, it could be true, it might not be true, but I think it's true because I'm looking at their body language, their demeanor on the pitch, and I'm seeing the way the attackers are reacting to the way we are playing. When I look at their faces, like when I went to Spurs, and I'm watching Lukaku, and I'm looking at Ziyech, looking at the way they're playing, when they're getting in space and those balls aren't coming, I do think there is something there, and I do think and you've seen Pulisic's dad. You saw Lukaku in that interview kind of alluding to it. You saw Pulisic's dad speak about it as well. It's no coincidence. I do feel that the attackers feel they're not being played, or the football being played at Chelsea is not to their strengths. Now, it's not necessarily their fault. Obviously, we said it before, we have to kind of cover up the deficiencies of the guys behind them. And obviously, it is to a bit to the detriment of the attackers. And I can't blame them. I mean, they're being obviously Lukaku shouldn't have said what he said, but with regards to the rest of them, they're not saying anything. They're doing what everyone wants, which is to be professional, not say anything. But can we blame them for not being happy? Oh, they're human beings. You know, if they feel like they're not being played to their strengths, of course they're not going to feel happy about it, are they? Because the fans are going to go at them. They're not going to go at anyone else. The fans are going to attack the players. They attack Callum Hudson-Odoi every single week. They attack Mount every week. They attack Pulisic. They attack Ziyech. Lukaku, obviously because of the interview, he's getting attacked every week now. So they're going to feel how they feel. You can't really stop them from feeling that way.
Okay, can you feel from an attacking point of view, it's maybe because obviously I know, Tuchel, he likes to keep his shape, doesn't he? So he likes to that we don't want to lose out in transition and stuff. So do you think they're being a bit more risk averse because they don't want to? Because you look at Callum Hudson-Odoi, for instance. Remember, he was berated by the manager and taken off. So do you think that is a reason why he's not taking as many risks because he's too worried about making mistakes on the pitch?
The problem. The problem is if we go how we want to play, we go gung ho, then I think we'll be in big trouble. I think we will suffer the same way Lampard. Remember Lampard? He went gung ho and we started to play that attacking football and we suffered defensively. If we do that, I think Tuchel will suffer the same fate and eventually we'll get fired because of it. So I think that's the reason why we are being very conservative, where we are keeping shape. We're slow. I don't think we can do it anyway. We're just slow and lethargic. It's very, very annoying. Because if they do lose the ball, then it could be catastrophic. So I guess that's the way he's playing that way. That's the reason anyway.
Before Boogie, quick answer for Abdul B in the chat. He's saying, Monstar, should we get Hazard back? What's your point? What's your perspective on this?
No. And the reason why I said no, because I saw the journalist, his name's Sasha Tavarelli. He was the one that put up the situation that everyone was posting. Now, when all the Chelsea accounts posted this, they clickbaited. They posted the top half of it, and they didn't post the main important part of it, which was at the bottom. That same piece, if you want, I can read the whole thing out for you. But it basically said, yes, Eden Hazard's available in the summer or whatever, or he's available now, and he wants to leave, and Real Madrid want to get rid. But it failed to. What they didn't put in there is that Eden Hazard needs an operation. So Eden Hazard needs an operation. He needs surgery. That's the part they didn't add. Now, if we take Eden Hazard out of this, and I ask all of you, would you buy a player that needs surgery? Most probably all of you are going to say no.
Yeah, so correct.
The last I heard about Eden Hazard and surgery is like, if he has to have one more ankle surgery, he's got to retire. Like
but their medical staff have recommended he needs surgery, but they're refusing to do it because they want to quickly get him off the books.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
What it is. So
yeah, I think he needed the surgery while he was still at Chelsea, apparently. So it's something ongoing. Boogeyman, I cut you off, mate. I apologize.
No problem. I want to stay in Monstar Logics when he said our strikers are not happy. We should not blame them for being unhappy. My question is, stay in that logic. Are you saying that the communication between the coach and our striker is broken, or our striker do not believe what Tuchel is trying to implement it on the field? Do you think there's a like they just don't understand Tuchel, or Tuchel is now be able to get his system through them?
I don't. That's the thing. I don't know, and I hope not, because you know how if that's the case, then that could end really, really badly for probably Tuchel more, because we know who Chelsea are. I hope that's not the case. Honestly, I hope that's not the case. But we could be heading down that road, because when I'm looking at the faces and the demeanor of the attackers, they don't look happy. They do not look happy. Some of us have probably played football, but if you're playing in a team and the team is so lethargic and so slow, you're making runs and if you feel you're making great runs and the ball just isn't coming, and then you do get a chance and you miss it, you're going to be very frustrated at yourself for obviously missing the chance. But at the same time, you're going to be frustrated at why is it every time I'm getting the ball, it's not coming? And then everyone's going to blame me for that one chance I missed. Because that's basically what's happening at Chelsea right now. These guys will get one chance and they'll miss it, or they'll make a mistake. All of a sudden, because these guys, one thing I know for 100% sure, as soon as a match finishes, they go on social media, they go on Twitter, search their names and see what people are saying about them. They do this all the time. So they can see what people are saying about them. So it is affecting them. I don't care. People say, oh, but they got bought for this or they're getting paid this. They're still human beings. You can get paid however much you want. It doesn't stop you from being a human being. So with that being said, the confidence of our attackers are on the floor right now. It is really on the floor.
And you know what it is too. It's like we got this young squad, right? Young squad of players, and we're asking them to be extremely clinical because we don't create a lot of opportunities, right? Obviously, so these guys are being asked to be. I mean, the season that I can compare it to is that season where first Conte season where Hazard and Costa and Pedro were just so clinical. We didn't create a lot of opportunities that season, but we were just so clinical when we took the opportunities every time we got them. And those guys are veteran players that have been doing it for a number of years now. You compare that to the likes of Havertz, Werner, I mean, I can go on. Obviously, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic. It's a completely different, mindset, mentality to those types, that have, fought through those things for as long as they have. And to be honest with you, like this whole locker room thing, like with people, upset about, of course they're upset. They should be upset, man. They're not playing well. Whether or not that comes down to the fact that they don't like what Tuchel's doing or whatever, it culminates on the fact you're not playing good football right now. So if you're happy and not playing good football, then you have a problem. I have a problem with you. You should be angry. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I understand that.
So hold on. Couch, we want them to be angry. We want them to be responsive, passionate, unhappy. When things are not going right, we want them to react, but we don't want them to be angry within themselves, with each other. Be angry
that's
at
part
the.
of it though, right? That's
No,
part
but
of it. That's locker
no,
room
no,
stuff.
no. But yeah, you see, I'll give you an example. If you have two players that are supposed to play together falling out, that's going to have a negative ripple effect on the rest of the squad and the rest of the team. If they have a disagreement, if they have a I don't know, an opinion about a certain thing is different than having a falling out where they don't talk to each other, where they don't pass the ball to each other on the pitch. I mean, we saw. Hold on, Couch. We saw a couple of times post interview Lukaku not being given the ball at crucial opportunities. A couple were actually highlighted on Match of the Day. Okay, I think you brought it up, Couch.
Yeah, thank you. I did. And I think,
so that for me is a problem. That for me is a problem.
That comes down to them not getting along as teammates. I think that just comes around their awareness on the pitch is not there.
Yeah,
this guy's making runs and they're not recognizing the run.
I thank God that Match of the Day highlighted that, because if they didn't highlight it, no one else would. No, I thank God, because even I remember Cesc Fabregas did a Q&A. I think it was last season, or when was it? He did a Q&A on Twitter, and they asked him about Timo Werner, and he said in a nutshell that if I was in that team, I will find him a lot more, and he will get more goals. I see him making very important runs, and the Chelsea players don't play the ball to him. That's what he said. And remember, last season there were so many times where Timo Werner makes a very good run, and our players don't even look to play that ball. And we miss those type of players that play that ball, like a Fabregas, Matic, Juan Mata. We miss those players, even Hazard as well. We miss these. These balls are crucial, and we don't have none of them in our locker. We don't have it.
Yeah. So familiarity builds chemistry. Yeah. So if you had to choose three players to stick with for at least 7 or 8 games, the front three, who would your three be?
In this current team, just for the rest of the season, I would go with Havertz, Werner, and Mason Mount. just for the rest of the season till Tuchel can
Drop
get the
100
players.
million.
He
You
needs
drop
and
100
change it.
million pounds.
That's
I would, because this, as I said before, when Eric Blue asked me, I said his team is set up for Havertz from last season, and until we get the players we need, Lukaku can't benefit with these guys that we have right now. So yes, I will stick with Havertz and Werner and what's his name, and
Mason Mount.
So how do they get to that conclusion to invest in Lukaku? If you like, it's simple, like you just said, that the system is designed for the first 9. Why do they go and buy Lukaku?
Well, the problem is they did try to get those other players. That's one thing. I'm not saying they didn't try. They tried. Hakimi and these other guys, they did try to get them. They just failed. And they didn't have a good enough backup, or the backup for the midfield that they got was Saul, which he's not that guy anyway. So when you're trying to build a puzzle and you only get one piece to it, if you don't get the other pieces, you don't have the full puzzle. It's not going to work. So yes, you're right. If they knew they would have failed to get those other players, they probably wouldn't have, or they probably shouldn't have gone for Lukaku. But the problem is they only got one piece to it, and now Lukaku, we can't get the best out of him because we can't play those early balls into him that he needs. Or when they play the ball into him and he holds it up, they don't get close to him and he gets swarmed by defenders.
So how many more players do you think Chelsea should bring in for Lukaku to see at least 90 or 70% of Inter Milan Lukaku? Just name the positions and.
Hold on, Boogie. Do you want Monstar to give you numbers or particular players?
No, not particular players.
I wouldn't give you particular players, but positions. I will say the defensive midfield is the number one. The centre backs and the wing backs. Those are positions I would change, because when you get those players, you also can revamp your team. So when you get those players, you can then say you get the proper defensive midfielder, then you can play this proper 4-2-2-2 or 4-3-3, whichever one Tuchel wants to go with. Then you can push Mount back in midfield, get him playing deeper. Then Ziyech and all these guys, they don't have to play so narrow or whatever the hell they are playing right now. They can play wider. And then Callum loves to be on the flank wide as well. You can get Pulisic wide as well, having to run at guys and things like that, creating more space. It's just certain positions when they're filled, it opens up a whole load more possibilities for us to do a lot more. But right now, those possibilities are completely limited.
So Monstar is saying if we get a defensive midfielder next summer, we get better Lukaku the following season. Is that what we should remember from you?
Wait. Monstar,
yeah.
Monstar, better defensive midfielder in the place of Jorginho, or just a better defensive midfielder? What I'm trying to say is Jorginho should be replaced or should stay.
Yes, Jorginho, you can have him as an option. Yes, 100%. You can have him as an option. You don't have to get rid of him. But a defensive midfielder in that position, number one, it gives you more numbers in midfield, so we don't get outnumbered in midfield. When you can drop Mount, you can bring back Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher, if he comes in right now, he will not work in his team. I guarantee you that. You could bring back Gallagher. Kovačić, if he comes, Kovačić can now play a bit more further forward and doesn't have to worry as much defensively. Kante, you can get him to win the ball high up and not get him playing, do like the reason why he's suffering is he's having to do everything in that team. The defensive work, winning the ball high up, also kickstarting attacks. He's doing way too much, and that's why it's affecting him as well. So you can bring out more. You can bring out like the burden on some of these players won't be as much if you get that defensive midfielder. But it's not just the defensive midfielder as well.
Yeah, the wing back and
the wing backs as well, and obviously the centre backs as well. Because Thiago Silva, what Tuchel's, as this is from Tuchel's mouth himself, the reason why he has to play a free back is not just for Jorginho. It's also for Thiago Silva and others as well, because Thiago Silva, in order for us to maximize his minutes, we need to play him in a free back so he doesn't have to run as much. When you're playing in the back four, they do a lot more running in the defense because they have to cover a lot more ground. When you're playing in a free back, you don't have to do that as much. So we can use Silva in more games. That's why we play it. When you take that burden off Silva, we know how great he is. You take that burden off him, then that wouldn't be a problem as well. There's so many issues in this team that needs to be fixed. It's not just the DM. There's other positions as well.
That's good, man. That's good.
Guys, we have Monstar. I know I said it's a 1 hour agreement, but now we've gone to 1 hour 40 minutes. It's having you on the stream, it really is a pleasure, Monstar. The conversation, the discussion, and listen, Monstar, this is your channel, okay? Mikasa is Sukasa. This is your house, this is your home. So you're welcome on here anytime. You have an open invitation on the Blue Lounge. Whenever you want to come, have a debate, have a discussion. You're welcome. This is your second home. And guys in the chat, I know for a fact that all of you guys have already subscribed to Monstar. And if you haven't, if there's by chance a couple of you that have not subscribed to Monstar, do us a favor. In the actual title, click on Monstar's name, and it will take you to his channel and subscribe. Monstar will be doing content again on the regular. He's taking a break for reasons that he will tell you about. But he is back now. He will be back. I think you're starting from this week, right? Next week, yeah. So regular content. I mean, I'm gonna have to avoid streaming at the same time as him because nobody's gonna be watching me when he's streaming. So
I try to stream earlier. I don't really do the late. Not any. I
late nights. Yeah. Listen. To be honest, when you're streaming, I'm always watching, and if I'm not watching, I'll always watch it again. I like the debates. I like the opening statement, Monstar. When you start your stream, that first hour 45 minutes when you discuss all the topics and you give your insight on them, for me it's my favorite part of your streams. So keep it up, and I really wish you all the success in the world because. True fans giving a true opinion, a passionate voice is very rare, and you have that. So big up to you, and may it continue. May it continue, Monstar.
Boogeyman, Couch Critic, Eric, Max, you lot have a lovely day, man. I really appreciate you lot, obviously allowing me to come on and blessing me with your presence.
Oh, pleasure.
And I really appreciate it, man. You guys have a nice day, man.
Yo, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Monstar.
Take
care, brother. We'll see you again.
I haven't subscribed yet to your channel. I'll be doing that right now.
You haven't subscribed to Monstar's channel? Are you serious, Boogie?
No, I'm actually serious. I told you before. I only follow you most of the time. I just don't. Yeah. So can you share his YouTube? I didn't know. Seriously?
It's in the title. It's in the title. Just click on Monstar in the title. It'll take you straight to his channel and subscribe. Monstar, you got a subscriber from the stream, man. You got a subscriber, so
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right, guys, have a good one. Yeah, I gotta go cook.
Big up to you. Good night, brother. Good night. Take care.
Take care.
Good night, Monstar. Bye. Cheers, Monstar. Listen, what a guy! What a personality! What a voice! What an opinion! I wish there was more people like him on social media representing the Chelsea fans. He speaks from the heart. He says it how he sees it, rather than with an agenda or with a specific mindset. So big up to Monstar, and hope he has all the success in the world, and may his channel grow, may his presence in the Chelsea fan base grow. Big up to him, guys. I have got another Q&A session on Monday, and I have another YouTuber who will be coming on Monday. I'm not going to tell you who it is. The people in the panel already know, and believe me, you will enjoy that stream just as much as this one. So I'm looking forward to that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to come on the stream and give us your thoughts and opinions about what you've heard discussed today. And if you have anything else you want to address, I'll be more than happy to hear it. So just bear with me for a couple of seconds while I get the link. 1 second, share.
Yo, Eric Blue, man. You're doing a big honor today, showing your face for more than 1 hour now?
I was in Hartney with Monster, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't do it for you, Boogie. Don't.
I can't believe you had not subscribed to Monster's channel yet. What were you doing, man?
I don't know. I don't understand myself. I've heard his name before, but I didn't.
Seriously? Listen.
When you said you say you took a picture with a guy, and the guy normally looks small, but when you were standing behind or close to him,
he's massive. Monstar is a massive guy. He's massive.
I saw the name, and then I was reading in the Twitter, and people are just. That's why I click on his account and look at it, but I just didn't think of subscribing at that time. And when you say he was coming today, that's when I start mostly looking at his contest a little. But other than that,
no. To be honest, I hadn't met him before the Tottenham home game. I've spoken to him on Twitter a couple of times, but I never actually met him. And as I was walking out of the stadium, I saw him standing outside, and I went to introduce myself and shook his hand, and we had a conversation for about 15 minutes. And then I said, you know what? And another time I was standing on the street, and he was standing on the curb. So he looked taller because he was standing on the curb. So I'm thinking, he's taller, but he can't be that much taller. And I'm like, let's take a picture together. And as we stood, he put his arm around me, on my shoulder, and I'm like, dude, look how big you look, and look how small I look. And that's when I realized how big he is. Monstar is a big guy. So
how tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm not short. I'm 5'8". So I'm not short. I'm not tall. He's like 6'3" or 6'4" or something. So he's a big lad. I think you're a big lad as well, Max. You're about 6'2". Yeah. So Max is 6'2".
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought Max was 6'3".
I saw a picture of Max standing next to Drogba, and I think you're about the same height as Drogba, aren't you, Max?
Slightly taller than him. Yeah.
I think Drogba is just 6'2", about 6'2".
Okay.
Maybe 6'1". I think
Right.
Lukaku is slightly taller than Drogba, and Lukaku is 6'3". So.
Yeah. Listen, guys, the link is in the chat. I have pinned it as the pinned comment. So anybody who wants to jump in, click on that link, jump in, and give me your thoughts. We already have Tobago in the chat, so let me hear what Tobago has to say. Tobago, welcome to the stream. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, and you?
I'm great. I'm fantastic. I'm doing good.
Big up Tobago.
Big up Tobago.
Big up, guys.
Tobago, let me hear what you have to say, mate.
Okay. My question for you guys, from let me just put it this way. Like I see now, we're having the same problems as like a previous season. So for me, what is the solution going forward? Like, what formation do we need to use, or what something new we need to do to influence our attacking players? Because like, if you can check our attacking players' stats are shocking. If you can Google them, are shocking. So they need to add more goals or more assists into their accounts. But like currently now they're struggling. So like, my question is like, what is the solution going forward? What do we need to do to help them improve, or to improve the whole team?
All right, good question. We're gonna spend the next 5 minutes discussing this and addressing this, because there's various ways that we can do this. Tobago, thank you very much for coming on. Your question has been registered, and stand by for the answer. Have a good day, mate. Take care, Tobago.
Thank you,
Tobago. All right, guys. What does Chelsea need to do to address the attacking situation? Change of formation, change of lineup, change of tactic, system, players. How do you address this? And Before I take your answers, Hawkeye's Jorge's has joined the stream. Jorge's welcome, and I'm gonna keep you on the panel because you have your camera switched on, so it makes it look good. So I'm keeping you on. I'm keeping you on Jorge's. All right, guys. Address Tobago's question. What is the best way to move forward in regards to that?
I'll just go first. It's easy. Play faster. Play more direct. Because against Brighton, the amount of times I saw us in advanced positions, and what we do, we turn back and pass the ball back. What we do, we allow their defence to set and go back into their 2 banks of 4, whatever. I'm watching most teams. I'm watching even Arsenal. I'm watching the Arsenal game as I'm doing the stream. They try and move the ball direct. Everything is looking forward. The passing is forward, is crisp, and everything else. But with us, it's just like a bit ponderous. I think at the beginning of the season we're doing it more. We're playing a bit more direct. But I think I'm not sure it's because of the tiredness, the jadedness. But it's just we're just looking to pass the ball square. Many times I'm watching the game and I can see. Obviously, I'm watching on TV, so it's different. But I can see that forward pass. And these players haven't got the vision to make that forward pass. Yeah, they're always making the safe pass. So I think just a slight change in tactics, get the ball forward, especially in transition. We are one of the worst teams in transition. When we get the ball to break, we're always making the wrong decisions as well. It's always overpassing, underpassing, or the wrong type of pass.
Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree? Yeah.
But I think that a lot of that, we're talking about the beginning of the year, and like now we are now. Like when you're saying safe, I think that just comes to the mentality of the players that are on the pitch right now. Like Alonso is not very progressive or not very good in possession, and Azpilicueta is very safe to a fault. You know what I mean? Where the Man City game was a perfect example of that for me. Like how many times did we get into the second wave of their press? Alonso or Azpilicueta gets on the ball, and then instead of like advancing it forward, he's passing it back, and we have to try and break the press again. It's just like move the ball. Like you've done all the hard work. Move the ball forward now, right? And like he's not taking any risky passes. He's not making any risky passes.
Who's responsible for that? Who's responsible for that? Is it the players or is it the managers? The manager's system.
I mean, you got to play your game. Like you're not. The manager's not going to tell you to pass the ball, dangerously. I mean, he's not going to say put the ball forward. I mean, he's responsible for his football, right? When he's on the pitch, like Tuchel's not going to be in his ear the entire 90 minutes telling them, pass it here, pass it here, pass it here. Like that's just his mentality.
But coach.
Go ahead.
Every time Aspi received the ball, did you see the options that were given to him at that time?
No options.
The only options are back or pretty much in the middle of on the field. So Jorginho is available
every time. I would agree with you. There were more than a few opportunities where he had to move it back because of where the pressure was coming from. But there was times he could have released Pulisic and didn't. There was times he could have played it into Lukaku, just feet into Lukaku, let Lukaku hold it up, and then build an attack from there. It's just. It's not all the time. I agree with you. I'm just saying more often than not, his mentality will tell him to pass it back.
Yeah.
Even the match of the day, they're showing passes where Lukaku's making the run in behind the defense and Azpilicueta's on the ball. And instead of like playing that incisive pass, he played Lukaku in behind. He's playing it out on the wing.
So do you think his precision? He doubt his own pass precision? Because my point is to pass the ball in someone run, you have to be somehow precision and know the space where you want the ball to go, and approximately the person that is taking the run where he is going. Because my point is this: every time
he's not a good enough passer.
Exactly.
He's not a good enough passer. Then
I think the man is limited when it comes to that precision, and then when he look at the options around. If I have the ball and I see Pulisic standing in front of a tall defender, I'm not giving that guy the ball because I know that ball is coming back. I'd rather give it to Kovačić. I'd rather go back to Mendy. So I just think it's not just the player; it's also the coach telling them, at this point, we've reached the point where not only when you see Pulisic and you see a defender behind Pulisic, then talk to Lukaku, make that run. Just so you can at least draw the attention of the centre backs. Make the run close to Pulisic also, and Aspi make the pass. I train kids also. Sometimes you see the solution. You notice that passing at the back is easier.
Rebecca will tell you. I don't know if she's in the chat, but like this is like one of my proverbs. Players will always react to their make, like their temperament. They will always play to their temperament because this game is about reactions. It's about like instincts. So if your instinct is to play safe all the time, you're not going to play an aggressive, like progressive pass. Azpilicueta is very safe, very very safe. He doesn't look to any like incisive passes to like get somebody in, like risky passes or anything like that. So that's part of the problem. But the question was, how does Chelsea like improve their attacking? This is how you prove. Be more aggressive with these passes. Like take more risks in those passes. Get them into try it, even if it's not your temperament to like make that pass into Lukaku that's playing it in behind. Break that. Make those passes because
we're
not going to get any better just like by recycling possession amongst our defenders.
Couch, this really happened when Pedro, Willian, Hazard, players of that ilk kind of left the club. When we attack, when we break, we don't seem to have the right mentality. Because when we had Willian, Pedro, Hazard, when we broke, when we were counter-attacking, the only thing these guys had in their minds was getting that ball in that box and finishing it, scoring from this attack. While as today, they would run, they'll get to the edge of the box and then they'll pass the ball back.
Yeah,
they wouldn't continue the aggression of going for goal. A couple of times we see players in front of goal, and instead of taking that shot, they are afraid to take that shot and miss, so they pass it to someone and hope that they take that shot, and they do take that shot and they miss. So we don't have the aggression anymore, the assertiveness in attack. Do the dangerous pass.
Yeah.
Do the pass that you may lose possession, but if you don't lose possession, we're going to be 1-0 up. We're going to take the lead. So let's take that risk. We're taking risks in the wrong places. We should take them in advanced positions in attack rather than taking risks. Our box.
If you're worried about like being counterattacked, isn't that the reason why you're playing three at the back anyways? Because you want to be safe back there, like
safer that way. Yeah.
You're trying to play safe football. It's funny because we play possession-based football, but we play the most safe possession.
Yeah,
yeah. It's just
and Couch. It's not. It's not.
So we're just recycling possession with no intent of like trying to like play it.
Exactly. It's not like we're playing defensive football. We're just playing risk-free football. I mean, we're not defensive. It's not a Mourinho system, but it's not a Pep system or a Klopp system where you're scoring goals. We're actually playing a safe, balanced system rather than an aggressive system. I'm going to bring in Showtime, but before I bring in Showtime I want to get Jorge's to give me his thoughts on this particular subject.
Yeah, so actually, I was watching the stream from the start, of course, and when you put in the link in the chat, I was like, "There's no need to join because you guys dealt with everything, fully. Everything was, done, dusted." But then the previous guy came in and was like, "How can we improve, going forward? Like with what we've got now, what can we do?" Then, of course, I got in here and we're talking about something else. I wanted to, drag you guys back a little bit to when Tuchel actually joined the Wolves game we actually played. Prior to that game, everything you guys are saying is the same exact thing we're saying again. The same exact thing. We're not making those direct passes on the Lampard. We're not doing those passes. We're going to the left, to the right. It was the same thing. And that Wolves game, as soon as we got into the game, you could see the intent. We wanted to break through the center, even if it ended a 0-0 draw, but was it 0-0, I guess? Yeah, so we wanted to break through that pass. We wanted to break through the center. We wanted to make sure we got there. So I feel it's something about the mentality that has actually dropped, probably due to the whole issues we've gone through and the whole kind of form we've actually hit. We lost a few crucial players. So I think these guys actually know that they can play direct passes. But once that morale, that form, that intensity drops, the aggressiveness, as you said, then you start seeing the same stalemate, passing, everyone is trying to be safe. I don't want to be the cause of Chelsea conceding a goal. I don't want to be the cause of this. So let me just play safe. Let's give it. So, and in this system, you'll still notice a few players that are still trying to be direct, even though, the whole mental. Kovacic is still trying to be direct. Rudiger is still trying to be direct. Ziyech is still trying to be direct. That's where you see the mentality of the players that are actually, trying to do something, that they don't really care. And those are the ones you really see they're on top of their game, regardless of the form of the whole thing. So that is something I just saw, and I don't really know how, correct it is, but I think that is something we need to watch out for. Those players that are trying not to be direct, they're probably the ones suffering more from the whole form and the whole thingy. That's what I think.
All right, cheers, Jorge. Showtime, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good, my brother.
Assalamu alaikum. All my
Alaikum
brothers
salam.
and sisters,
Alaikum salam.
everybody on the panel. Hope all is well with you
Welcome.
guys.
We're good. We're good. Showtime, give me your thoughts on the attacking approach that we're taking at the moment.
I mean, yeah, you guys are hitting it on the nail when it comes to attacking. I see we're struggling, and I don't really like to pick out this one player or a couple players, but you notice that there's a change in the way we play when Jorginho is playing rather than when we have Kova and Kante in the middle. Kova and Kante, they're more of a get the ball. Okay, we have the ball in the midfield. Let's go forward. Jorginho is the one that screams. You see him pointing, back, go left to Aspi. But he doesn't want to do the passing to Aspi. He wants to go back to Silva and make Silva give the passes to Azpilicueta. That is where the problem lies, is with our midfield not going forward. So I think Tuchel has to sit down with Jorginho and point him out and tell him, look, well, if you just turn around and you see Alonso on the other far side, you see him open, why not dish it to him and let him go forward? Or if you hold the ball, you see Lukaku holding up the ball, holding up the defender, feed Lukaku the ball. We're having struggles feeding Lukaku the ball, and people are complaining, he's not living up to his 100 million. How do you expect him to live up to his 100 million when he's making a run and the ball is not getting fed to him and he's frustrated not getting the ball to his feet? We expect him to do things that are spectacular. You can see the difference of how he was playing when we first got him during the Arsenal match, the Crystal Palace match, to when he is now, where he's not being fed the ball. I think some of the players like Jorginho or some of the superstars on our team are frustrated with what he had to say in the media. But I guess that's what's causing a rift within our locker room. That he's frustrated not getting fed the ball, and you can see it in his eyes that feed me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. And with our attackers, we're lacking that attacker that's hungry to go attack. You mentioned the likes of Hazard, Willian, Pedro. When they got the ball at their feet, you will see them going at defenders. When we're making counter runs or when we are counter attacking, you'll see them all pushing, giving 100% when they're in attacking. Pass it to Pedro. Pedro pass it to Willian. Willian will give it to Hazard. Hazard will score easily. 1-2, they gelling together. Now it's more so players in the attack are greedy. They want to do it me. Like Mount, he has open passes that he can make, simple look up and give the ball inside or pass the ball. He won't make it. He'll take a shot. And I don't mean to scapegoat Mount, but he does that often. This season, I've noticed that he is more greedy and more to himself than he is as a team player. And that's where our attackers, they lack team continuity. They can't play as a team. They attack, they're so me. They focus on themselves, and they're not focused on gelling together as one, making everything flow. Like with City, you could see that their attackers, they gel together. If one person is going in, person is going out. Pass 1-2, you moving. Everybody's moving, gelling. But with these attackers, the one person is dribbling, the other person is expecting the ball to go give a cross. Sometimes we just be crossing and there's nobody there to cross it to. Who are you crossing the ball to? So we're not focusing on being one in the attack. There's no one thing I hate seeing is Lukaku crossing the ball,
because Lukaku is the one I want to see on the end of a cross rather than him crossing that ball. And a couple of times I see him being pushed out wide by passes that are not in the right place. I think we touched on this with Monstar, and that is we need to develop our midfield for the upcoming season, because that would be the best way to improve our attack is by improving our midfield. And I noticed that Monstar highlighted Jorginho. And also he emphasized the Tchouaméni transfer. The thing is, I agree with him 100% in respect to Tchouaméni. I personally would want Tchouaméni over Declan Rice regardless. I think Declan Rice coming into Chelsea with Tchouaméni might be a fantastic approach. But if I'm going to choose one, I'd have Tchouaméni purely for the fact that Tchouaméni is a box-to-box. He's not a defensive midfielder as such, but he is more of an upgrade on Kovačić. He can be useful at the final third, and is also useful close to our defenders, and that is what Tchouaméni reminds me of Essien. I know Essien is at a different level, but I think Tchouaméni does have that potential to be that kind of player for us. And I think we need that player. We need that player like that in our team. And that is what we need to change, because right now I see Jorginho as being a good player for controlling the tempo, for distributing the ball in a possession-based system, but not when it comes to creating opportunities. Kovačić does that. Kante does that. Jorginho doesn't. Not under Lampard, not under Tuchel. He did more under Sarri, but he hasn't done it for us under Lampard or under Tuchel. He is not aggressive enough. I mean, he does get assists. He does, get the highest amount of goals for us because he's our penalty specialist. But apart from that, I would like to see someone who is more able in both parts of the pitch, defensive part and the attacking part, all rolled up into one. And I think Tchouaméni is that.
It's funny. I actually think that Declan Rice offers more offensively from what I've seen so far, at least. Like he's more of a goal threat.
What I was going to say, sorry,
I don't know.
go ahead.
I many in that role. I feel like he has the ability, but he's not really somebody that I look to.
Exactly. I have to agree.
Cash.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Declan Rice, where is his strength? In defense or in attack?
Oh, without doubt, it's defensively.
Okay, Tchouaméni.
I think he's a diamond. I don't know if he's been defined yet. He's been used mostly defensively the last little while, I'd say. I just think.
Would you agree with this statement? Tchouaméni is just as good moving up the pitch as he is going backwards.
Yeah, I would like to think that.
And that is why I prefer him. And that is why I prefer him to Declan Rice.
But is he
because he is good.
You know what? Rice is driving with the ball a lot more now.
Yeah.
If you look at his game's improving, he's adding extra strings to his bow.
Yeah, like you heard what's his name? The coach there, Moyes was talking about him. He's like, yeah, these are the things that he has to add to his game to be that next level player, and I think he's doing it. To be honest, I still think it's Tchouaméni for me because I just think that he has more about him. To be honest, but I'm not saying that Declan Rice isn't a player. Like I really think that he has something to offer.
I think I just think when we talk Chelsea, there should not be a doubt. I don't see any doubt to choosing Rice over Tchouaméni because as much as there's a potential of Tchouaméni, and people even go as far comparing Tchouaméni to Essien. I've never seen Tchouaméni actually being a goal threat, take the ball and reach that box and take a proper hit of the ball and hit the target.
Potentially.
Now,
potentially.
I've seen Essien at Lyon
Essien tackle everything. And when Essien take the ball, just 1-2 touches, and he hit it. He always hit it when you give him a chance. So we've seen those attributes from Michael Essien, even in African Cup of Nations at Lyon before he came to Chelsea. And the only thing we worry about back then is his red card. We think in the Premier League, but he came in, he adapted. I mean, he got a few red cards. I think the few first game, he got 2 or 3 red cards. But after that, when he managed to control his temper, he became one of the best. I just don't think Tchouaméni, as much as people think he's an improvement from Kovacic. I laugh when you say that because that's exactly what a lot of people here said when we signed the Spanish.
Don't embarrass us. Don't embarrass us. That was a bad stream. That was a bad stream. I blame it on Max. I blame it on Max. Max led the son, man. Max led the son. I was saying he's a bad player, and Max was like, no, he's good. He can do it.
No. You know what? That was the Saul of 2 years ago before he started to go down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you guys remember the video that we watched? And we were like, yeah, this guy is going to be amazing, man. You know, look at the way he's dribbling. Look at the way he's shooting.
Don't watch YouTube highlights. That's the thing.
Me and someone else that said,
I feel the Chelsea scouts actually use YouTube highlights to get our players because
those are getting paid million, but they're also watching YouTube videos.
Our scout Scott McLaughlin scouted him for 2 years,
guys,
and he said he was ready for him. So yeah,
Max, I think he watched the same YouTube video for 2 years. He watched the same YouTube video for 2 years. That's what he wanted to say.
Yeah.
Lads, I wanna bring in Chris. Chris, big up to you. Welcome to the stream. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. What you want to discuss, mate?
Nah, it's a pleasure to be in here, lads. As always, Boogie man. I see you there, mate. Big up, mate. Big up. Kazim, how's the questions? How was the question? Were they good? Did you like them?
Yeah, good. It was a good discussion, a good debate. To be honest, I've been looking forward to having Monstar on my stream for quite some time. Today we addressed a lot of topics, and in a short period of time, in comparison to the amount of topics we addressed. So it was a good Q&A session. Yeah,
he's actually a good debater. Like I can feel it.
He is.
He is the argument.
He bases Boogie when you're discussing a topic, and you base it on actual data. You're able to present it in a strong manner, and he does that. He bases it on information, articles, reports, historical facts, and when you do that, you're always going to have a strong base for your discussion. One problem that we do have, and we see that a lot on debate shows, is people base their argument on emotion. Emotion can play a part in it, but it can't be the base of your argument. If you base your argument on emotion, it's always going to be easy to shred, because it's not based on facts. It's not based on tangible data, and people will shred your argument to pieces. But when you're basing it on tangible data, now it's gonna be better.
Yeah, he used to be an academy player as well, didn't he? I don't think it's Chelsea academy, but he used to play in an academy, so he's also got that insight as well.
Brazil, I think he played in Brazil for a while. I think he played in Brazil, and he has, as he said on the stream, a lot of his nephews and younger family members are playing for local clubs, academy players. So and he watches them, and he sees the. Yeah, so he is going to have an insight to football on many levels, and that is always going to be good foundation to base your opinion on. Chris, what do you want to ask us, mate?
Hopefully the next guest can be Sky Italia. Maybe you could have that, because maybe you could have them in here. But no, I'm just looking forward to the game on Sunday. To be honest, I mean, I don't know why. I'm just looking forward to it. I know it's against Spurs. We always beat Spurs, but I'm I'm looking forward to see what goes on now, because it's the performances recently haven't been to the standard that they should be. So it'll be interesting to see how we turn up on Sunday. Considering we've had 2 days rest, so we go back to training tomorrow. We'll see what happens. We'll see how that's the effect. But I'm really looking forward to Sunday. Really looking forward to it. I don't know why. I don't know what's made me, because the last few games have been like, Lukaku, Ziyech, or Pulisic. But I don't know why. I'm really looking forward to seeing Harry Kane cry on Sunday. So can't wait for that. Yeah.
Chris, hold on. I know Chris would probably prefer a question from you. I know that, but let me ask him a question. Then you can ask him a question. Chris, do you think the fact that we've beaten them twice in the cup could go against us in the league, and we might lose or draw?
No, I don't really think. I think we've always beat Spurs anyway, so I don't really know. Well, you know, it could be a possibility that it's going to fire Spurs up for the game, but I think Spurs they're going to be fired up to play us anyway, so I don't think the cup will really have an effect. But I don't know why. I'm just really looking forward to it on Sunday, and I'm positive that it'll be a big win. I'm going to say 5-0. 5-0. Let's go.
Lukaku hat-trick. Lukaku hat-trick. Lukaku hat-trick with Hakim Ziyech getting 3 assists.
Yeah, maybe Ross Barkley might bag a brace, or Hudson-Odoi scores a few goals. We never.
You know, speaking of what he's actually saying, yeah, you know, I'm looking at the way we could actually just line up against Spurs. I think, you know, when you've beaten someone, you know, 2 times and you have to go head to head like twice, it is left for them to make the changes. You just have to come with the same thing that you beat them, you know, the 2 times. So it's left for them to think and tinker and, you know, try to spoil things. But, you know, the lineup, I am actually not like the lineup. The way I feel we should, the shape, the kind of formation was what we've been saying, you know, for the past few weeks now on all the tactics and, you know, formation we've been putting out here with a 4-4-2, 4-4-2, and we come in during the weekend is something else we're seeing on the pitch. So I think we should see something like that again. But now Chalobah is back. I think we're going to be reverting back to the 5-back proper again.
Chalobah is back? Where did you hear that?
I just hope he's not rushed.
He's back in training. He's back in training as of
Friday.
Friday.
It's back in training, and he had 2 days to rest, so he'll have a lot of time to recover.
And Reece James laced up his boots today, so yeah, he's coming back slowly but surely as well. But I hope he does not be rushed.
I think Reece James should be back. He's scheduled to be back in 2 weeks. So hopefully, you know, I agree with you, Showtime. I hope they don't rush him and they let him come back gradually, because I do not want to see a relapse in him getting injured again. Boogie, I interrupted you from asking a question to Chris. So
yo, big up Chris, man.
Go ahead.
You already know. Listen, I want you. You kept saying you're not too sure how this team will perform in the next few games. My question to you: do you think there is any slight chance out there that Chelsea team can go in a series of win, like 5 wins in a row? Like, forget about the cup. I'm talking about league, the league, the EPL itself. Do you think there's any chance that we can go on?
Wait, Chris, wait. Don't answer it, Chris. One second, Chris. Don't answer. Here we go. Give me a second, Chris, and then I'll let you answer. Just stand by. I'm just bringing something on the screen.
Liverpool is coming.
I'm bringing our schedule, fixture schedule on the screen, so we can have a look at that, and then we can decide where could we see a 5 win. All right. In regards to the question that Boogeyman posed to you, Chris, could you see us winning 5 of these fixtures back to back?
Even the cup included. Let me just go for the cup included.
All right. Well, our next fixture is against Tottenham on the 23rd. All right, and then that's in the league. So we could win that possibly. That's 1.
Yep.
All right. Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah, easy win. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Unknown club, World Club Cup.
Yeah. We'll win that as well. Yeah. Yep.
Semi-final, and then the final. So we'll say that's 5.
Yeah.
That's 4. That's 4. And then Crystal Palace.
Well, we beat them
5.
3-0 first game of the season. Vieira's a fraud. Yeah, we should beat them.
So potentially the next 5 fixtures are all wins for Chelsea.
Yeah. Then we've got Lille.
Now
we have it in us right now.
All right, let's look. Hold on, Boogie. Let's go back to your initial question of 5 wins in the Premier League. So you got Tottenham, that's 1. Then you got Crystal Palace 2. Burnley, we drew against Burnley, and we don't want to see a repeat of that. So let's say 3. Newcastle, relegation candidates.
Easy one.
4. Norwich, we got to slap them about because all the disrespect they showed Gilmore. We got to slap them about. Is that 5?
Yeah, easy one. Yeah.
Brentford 6, Southampton 7, Leeds 8, West Ham. Listen, we're winning every game until the end of the season, man. Bring on the title. We got the title. We got this covered, man.
In terms of Boogie's question, which was, can we? Yeah, we can. We should. You know what? We should be. The last 5 games, we should have won them. It's just the finishing. It's clinical. So we should already be sitting on fucking. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean the bad language there, big up. But I mean, we should have already won quite a few games in a row. It's just the final third. It's not even Tuchel. Tuchel setting us up to smash teams. It's just Lukaku and whoever else, Pulisic or Ziyech, or it'll be Hudson-Odoi or Mason Mount's not been producing the good, so I want to see him, fired up on Sunday. But in terms of Boogie's question, we're going to win every single game.
You point out the front line, right? What would be your 3 best, like just for you, based on what you've seen so far?
My front 3.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have
why?
to
Explain. I'm using a French word. Explain why you think those 3 are.
Okay. Lukaku, we spent 87 million on him. He is our best attacker. He's going to be there. I'm going to put Havertz in there and Mason Mount. For me, those are the 3. Or rotate between Havertz and Werner. That's the only options. Pulisic, too inconsistent. Ziyech, too inconsistent, and Hudson-Odoi, people keep making excuses for him. You know what I mean? He's not produced. I mean, so for me, that would be my front 3. Lukaku, Mount, Havertz would be rotation with Werner. Those are the 4 essentially that I would look at.
Boogie, can I answer that question too?
Oh yeah.
As well.
Yeah, if left to me,
okay. Yeah. You meant Mo. Can I answer that question too? Right? you misspoke, right? You misspoke, yeah.
Sorry.
You misspoke. I'm kidding. Don't do it again though. Don't do it again though. But I'm kidding. But don't do it again though.
Well, can I answer Boogie's question? All right. Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Personally, I wouldn't even play a 5-back. I wouldn't play 3 forwards anymore till the end of the season. I'll play a 4-back, but I'll play a 4-back with a 4-man midfield with left midfielders and right midfielders that would actually be complementing in defense. And the key in my opinion for this 4 midfielders would be the weirdest name, but it will be Hudson-Odoi on the left midfield. And why? I think I have this feeling that Hudson-Odoi can actually create really well from deep, other than, in the front of the pitch. I think when he has those, large spaces to actually throw those long passes, I feel like he would take them more. And he's also a very good left wing back, as he has been playing left wing back as well and right wing back. So he could actually, cover for whosoever is on the left wing back, be it Sarr, be it Alonso. He would also be in the defense, and the opposition team cannot, attack us on the left and the right at the same time. So whatsoever it is, we're still playing the 5-back in the defense, depending on who is on the right midfield. Right midfield could be Ziyech, could be Mount, but to be honest, I would prefer Ziyech there as well, because Ziyech has also been doing duties in the right wing back, and is also a very good passer of the ball from deep as well. And my front 2 would be probably Lukaku, Kai Havertz, Lukaku, Pulisic, Lukaku, Timo Werner. I think that way you can use all of them, make them, but the only factor is the left midfield and the right midfield. They have to work tirelessly. They have to work tirelessly. going up, coming down, going up, coming down. And in fact, they could even help in the midfield as well because they're also like those kind of players. That's what I'm just thinking. Yeah.
Who are in the middle? In the middle, you talk about left,
Oh, yeah.
right. Who are in the two midfielders?
Yeah, Kova Kante as always. Kova Kante as always. That's I don't know why. I feel like with this shape, you can play 5, even 6 back at the defense if we're lacking. And but you just have to be tireless left midfield and right midfield. Those left back and right back, Azpilicueta. I'm just using the players we have right now because we have to work with what we have right now. Azpilicueta and Alonso, they don't even need to do too much. Only when we're like pressurizing, then one of them can come forward. But to be honest, I think that would save everyone the stress of having to defend too much.
Would you leave out Jorginho? Would you leave him out?
Yeah, I'm playing Kante Kovacic in the midfield. Of course, Jorginho would come into the side at some point.
I remember the preview we did before the
One second, Eric. Eric, I'll let you continue in just 1 second. People in the chat, I want you to do me one favor, and I want to know if you guys are for or against bringing in Ousmane Dembele to Chelsea Football Club. Are you for or against it? In the chat. We addressed it from Monstar standpoint. I'm going to address it from the panel standpoint in a second. But I want to know what you guys think in the chat before we talk about it on the panel. So in the chat, let me know. Are you for or against Dembele coming to Chelsea? And we all know his situation. So in the chat, for or against. And I'm talking about free transfer. Actually, no, let's address the first scenario where we pay money for him and get him this window in the winter. Free transfer, we'll discuss that later. But for us to get him in this window on a fee that's been touted between 18 to 20, 22 million pounds, let me know in the chat. I've got a couple of against, I've got 1 for, so let me know in the chat. Eric Blue, continue.
Yeah, I was just saying that before the match against, was it Brighton? I think it was Brighton.
Yeah.
We were saying that, I think, Kasim, you were saying that you wanted Kante to play against Spurs, right? So you predicted that he would miss the game against Brighton. But he played Jorginho and he played Kovacic. He played Jorginho and Kante.
That was City.
So yeah, I'm talking about Brighton. Yeah, he played Jorginho and Kante, right?
Yeah.
So Kovacic was one who got rested.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Will he play Kante again? I'm not sure, but I feel as if our best. And I've had issues with it before with the partnership of Kovacic and Kante, because the way they play, nobody sits. They like to run around. They like to move forward.
Yeah.
So, which is why the whole conversation about a DM is so important, because they don't have as much responsibility defensively if there's a DM there. But I think Hawkins is right. I agree with Hawkins in terms of moving forward. If they can be disciplined enough defensively, I think that is the best pivot going forward till the end of the season.
You know what's funny about that too, Eric, though? Because you nailed it right on the head. You're talking about like them just running around and like not being positionally aware. Do they offer enough in the final third? Max, you taking off?
Yeah, I gotta go. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next stream. Yeah, take care.
Take care, Max. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. Much appreciated. Right. Cheers, Max.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, do you think that because I don't think that solves the problem altogether, because I don't know if, like, even if we liberate Kante and Kovacic, did they offer enough in the final third? You know what I mean? Like,
no,
we're liberating them, but are they going to score? That's the problem, right? Like, it's got to be one or the other. I agree with you. If I had the choice between Kante, Kovacic, and Jorginho, I'd probably take Kante and Kovacic right now, just because, I feel like we need more energy in the midfield, especially in the Premier League. But in terms of what we need going forward, I don't know if we can run with those two, even if we do have a more defensive-minded sitter in there because they just don't offer enough in the final third.
Yeah.
Kovacic could create half chances, and that's just the best we could do. Kante could help, switching balls to the left mid and the right mid. That is because there will be spaces right now because some guys will be sitting so far by the touchline, so there will be much more space. And on the defensive axis of it, left wing back, left midfield, right midfield will be helping on the defense. So I don't know, but
yeah, I think it would work. It would look better, wouldn't it? So maybe it's not the perfect,
it
but
would
it
be
would
solid.
look.
That's
Yeah.
the only solution I can see right now without having James and Chilwell and without having who again. I think those are the two crucial players we're missing because playing Alonso and Azpilicueta on the left and the right wing back is just pointless for me. I just do not understand.
I just think that we need to I think that since we brought back Kennedy, it's about time that we put him into the fold and see what he brings on that left side for us. As of right now, I don't think switching the whole system is necessarily the important thing to do as of right now. But going back to our standard and bringing in likes of freshness of Kennedy, or you switch up the midfield, you rest Jorginho, you bring in like Ruben, or you bring in Saul and give him another run at the Premier League matches. I think that will be the best opportunity for us of right now because switching our whole system is gonna derail us from where we're trying to go. Actually,
Showtime. We played this system twice against Spurs. We played it once against Liverpool.
In respect, hold on, Showtime. In respect to the Spurs game, this will be a game where we can literally put on the best 11 that we have, because there is no game after it where we need to potentially play our strongest team, and we've had a good break before this game, so the fittest available 11 will play. The best available 11 will play because Plymouth next. The FA Cup game is next, right? After Spurs. Yeah. So it's not going to be a big game for us in regards to the manpower that we need to utilize. So I think we can see the strongest side playing against Spurs. Now potentially that could be a problem, because if he has more to choose from, he may change the way that he played. Because I agree with you, Jorge. What worked in the past two games, in theory, should work in the third game. But the fact that he's able to make those changes, maybe he'll be spoiled for choice, and that might be problematic. I'll hear from Boogie and I'll hear from Showtime, and then we'll change to the Ousmane Dembele question. Go ahead, Boogie.
Yeah. Hey, what season did we play against Liverpool when we play really good? That's the last game we played really good. It is 3 at the back, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. Actually,
it was it 3 at the back or was it a hybrid?
Yeah, it was both. It was
hybrid, wasn't it? It was hybrid.
The only time we changed the system was against Tottenham. Those are the only two times. When we play against Liverpool,
but I guess Liverpool, did we not play 4 at the back at one point?
Yeah, we played.
Can you check? You can go on the game and click on the lineup. You will see who plays, and you will have an idea.
I think it was a back three. Yeah,
it was a back three. Actually.
Yeah. I agree. We started as a back three, but in game, did it not change?
No,
I don't think it changed.
I can't be 100% clear on it. Yeah, so if you say we didn't, then we didn't. I'll take your word for it.
The reason why I'm saying that is the Brighton game was one of the worst games, right, that we had, and we all get frustrated, panicked, and all those things. But my question to you is this: isn't it Tuchel mismanaging the squad was the result of the Brighton catastrophe or whatever we had with Brighton? Because I'm still thinking, if Tuchel for any reason have done a little bit those substitution earlier, we will have won that game. Because we keep talking about energy and all those things. But when Kovacic and who else was, at least when Kovacic came on the field and Mount started that game, right?
Werner came on.
Werner, when Kovacic and Werner, at least we saw a little bit of energy. Look at our bench: Kovacic, Saul, Malangsar, who else? Just look at the bench. It's not a bad bench. If we were that toy, just bring them in. I just think the fact that we wait till the 80th minute or 78th to be exact to do the sub was the biggest issue with that game. Like,
You know,
I'm listening.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I just think, when you have fatigue, just 50 minutes, do start doing the subs. That reason why Alonso getting the yellow card, so I'm waiting for it. No, it doesn't hold anything. I don't understand it. Do the subs.
I feel like
Energy is go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like Tuchel, I've been saying this, everywhere. The guy is a very, I don't know, concerned guy, and it feels like the players he put on the pitch, he wants them to make that statement before he puts them out. There was this game, we needed a few players out. We needed Kai Havertz and Werner. We needed them out of that game so bad. I think it was against Leeds or I think it was Leeds. And they played the game up to 70th minute, and they were playing so bad, and it felt like Tuchel was just giving them a chance to set things right. Like, he believes in the squad so much, and he always buys them that extra time to just make them do something. So that's what I felt happened the other day. It was giving Mount, Lukaku, Ziyech just that extra benefit of the doubt to just try to do something.
But why would you sacrifice helping players to get their confidence? Sacrifice that over the interest of the objective of the club.
Because
gambler,
you have to because you have to manage your team. He's a man manager, right? So sometimes it doesn't make sense, but you just have to do it because
to be a man manager, man.
That's why I feel like there's something more to the situation. That's why Kai Havertz or Werner hasn't been starting. There's something going on that he knows, like, if I play Kai now, he's not going to be able to play up to
it wasn't the first time, though. Like, you're talking
He's been
about
doing
the
that for the past couple of
maybe.
games, yeah.
But
Kai
it's
Havertz
not
hasn't
the first
started
time
in
we
like
saw
3
that.
matches.
What?
Kai Havertz hasn't started in like 3 matches. There's something going on with Kai Havertz that Tuchel's like, okay, you sit on the bench now, I bring you in, or it's either you play or you don't play for me. I think there's something more going on behind.
Boogeyman, if you don't think
he did have COVID, and he did come back from that.
Yeah,
and
look,
broke his
Havertz-
finger.
I can't hear. Can one talk, please? Eric, I can't hear both of you. Sorry. I thought Couch was talking also, right?
Yeah. I was just saying he broke his finger. I mean, that is something, right? He did have COVID.
Couch.
That is something, right?
I fall off the tree. I went and play football. I don't understand.
I'm sure you didn't play very well, though. I'm sure you didn't play very well.
You were not there, man. Were you there?
How many goals and assists did you get, Boogeyman?
Yeah.
0.
You guys don't know me, man. Listen. Check
Boogeyman,
my stat,
look,
man. Check my stat.
You're talking about man. So how don't you man manage? You said you coach a team, right? So you don't man manage your team. You said you don't want to man manager.
I manage kid. The result doesn't matter, man.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
No, guys, I can just say, Boogie, you were probably a good player, mate. Pick up yourself, Boogie, mate.
Thank you.
So now Boogie has an agent as well.
Indeed.
Why are you on Boogie like this, man? Why are you on Boogie like that?
How much is
Allow it, man.
Nah, he's a brother, bro. He's a brother, mate. Come on. Coach, you're a brother as well, mate. The coach is well, mate. You're a brother as well.
Thanks, man. Thanks for this.
No problem.
Listen, guys. I wanna address the. I was just saying the elephant in the room. No, but it's not an elephant. It's more like a glass in the room. The broken glass house in the room. Dembele. I have to admit. I've changed my mind on him a couple of times, and the link that Couch shared with me, which I actually shared on social media today, regarding his injury record for the past 4 or 5 years. It really is scary how injury prone this guy is and how much time he's missed. Because I did a review of it and I looked at how much time he's missed over the past four seasons, and it didn't look too bad. But then when I saw the breakdown that Couch sent me, it really became worrying. Now the thing is this: Tuchel, if you believe what you're reading in the media, Tuchel likes Dembele as a player and believes in him, and he thinks he can get the best out of him. That's if you believe what is in the media. The injuries that he has, because you can say that the injuries that he has is because he's in Barcelona and he's not happy, and but because of that he's getting injured. But the injuries that he has are reoccurring. One of the ones I'm remembering is knee injury and hamstring injury. Two that reoccurred quite a lot: his knee injury and his hamstring injury. Now those. Say again, Boogie.
I was asking if any surgeries.
I don't remember. But the issue is when you have reoccurring injuries in the knee and in hamstring, that's not really going to go. That's not going to go. It's going to stay with him throughout his career. Now, the issue is free transfer in the summer, which will happen because he's not going to sign a contract, or pay a smallish, reasonable size fee now and bring him in January. Now, where do you guys stand in respect to Dembele? And I say Dembele because it's not in respect to an attacker. It's in respect to this particular attacker. Where do you guys stand? I want to hear your opinions, and this will be the final topic that we'll be discussing in the stream. And I know Couch has got his hand up, so I'll listen to Couch, and then I'll listen to Julius, and then I'll give everybody a chance to give me their thoughts before we conclude. So, Couch, take it away.
Yeah, I got to leave soon to go pick up my son. That's why I was edging to get in there right away. But big up, fellas, man. Great discussion today. Big up, Monstar. It's always good to be able to mix it with that guy. But, Dembele. There's just so many factors that you have to take into consideration, even just beyond the injuries, right? Like, if we weren't a squad that had already have a few injury-prone players like Chilwell, Pulisic, and a few others that come to mind, Conte at this point in time, you might want to take a chance on a guy like that, especially at the transfer fee that has been quoted was like 50 million euros. You might want to, but the fact that we have so many players in the squad right now that are already injury-prone and whatnot, I don't think that this is a right fit for Chelsea. This is not a good fit. Take into account that our wage bill right now is astronomical, right? Let's not forget that, So somebody has to come off of the wage bill for him to come on it, because we're not just going to continually compile what we already have right now. It's not going to keep going higher and higher because it's way too high as it is, right? So somebody has to leave for him to come. And when you take all those things in consideration, the fact that he hasn't really played a lot of good football for the last 4 years, and the last time he played under Thomas Tuchel, he was 17, 18 years old, something like that. Like, he's a completely different player now. You can't say that, under Tuchel he did this, he was that. He's a completely different player now. They had 1 year together at Dortmund. So when people are talking about Dembele and Tuchel, that was when his best. That was so long ago. He's been through 4 managers since then, probably with Barcelona and whatnot. So I'm of the opinion, yes, like most people will say, yeah, we got to back Tuchel. We got to, give him what he wants and whatnot to see what happens. But this just does not sound like a sound business move. It doesn't sound like sound investments. And we've kind of gone through this period where we haven't really made any sound investments in a long time. Mendy would probably be one, and maybe Chilwell, even though his injury record's a little dodgy. I can't think of anyone else that I can say is like a sound investment. I guess you can argue maybe Kai Havertz because he still hasn't really reached the peak of his powers yet. But, a guy who's going to be 25 in a couple weeks, a couple months, a guy that's had his injury history, a guy that's not going to come cheap, regardless of what you say about like free transfer, his wages are not going to be less than 100K. Let's be honest. He's going to be coming at 130, 140K because, and even that is probably a guess because like he's on crazy money as Jorge's is alluded to at Barcelona right too.
He is at 400K right now a week.
Yeah, so I can't imagine him coming down. I can't imagine him coming down off of that too much. You know, obviously he has to take into consideration that the market doesn't really. The market dictates the fees, and if nobody can afford to give him 200K, then he's not going to make 200K. So, but while I say that, I know that there's still going to be a market for him at like 140K somewhere. And do you want to give that to somebody that you know does not have the injury record that has the injury record that he is right now? And then on top of that, do you think that Chelsea are in a position to take that sort of risk right now? You know, we have to be bang on with anyone that we sign right now. We cannot miss anymore. We just cannot miss, especially with the attacking players that we've already. We spent over like 300 million in attacking players the last like 3 years or something like that. Which one of them has delivered at a high level? Which one? I can't think of one. Pulisic, Lukaku, Werner, Havertz. You know, like that's a lot of names. And a lot of money invested in that area, and I still haven't seen the return. And now you want to pile on another project on top of that as well? Sorry, guys, I'm out.
That's Saul all over. Saul, he used to be good 4 years ago. Then
hold on, Boogie. Don't bring Saul into everything, man. Come on, one mistake. Come on, the Chelsea scout made one mistake. The Chelsea board made one mistake, and you know, well, it's going to be solved. I guarantee you, it will be resolved by the summer. You know, we will deal with Saul in the summer. We'll just send him back and say. Adios, amigo. Muchas gracias.
Not muchas gracias. Not muchas gracias. Adios. See you later.
What would you
adios,
say if they turn into full? If they decide to keep Saul, what would you say?
I would say muchas gracias, Blue Lounge. Adios.
All right, fellas. I got to run, man, but it was good talking to you guys.
Take care, Couch. Take care, Couch. All right. Adios, Couch. Adios. All right. Let me hear from Julius. Julius, give me your thoughts on Dembele.
Yeah. Dembele is just like when you buy a Maserati, you know, it's a nice thing to look at, but it's bad on maintenance. I think
it's quick, but once you got to repair it, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Exactly.
Literally. Yeah.
And there are a couple of things. I think first he needs to bring his loyalty card with the NHS with him to get some points because he's going to spend half the season in the hospital. The second thing is we have so many injury prones already. Adding another one on high wages is not going to help because what's the point? Let's say he is probably a good player. I'm going to admit I don't know much about him. I didn't watch him that much, neither at Dortmund or Barcelona. But for me, the key factor here is to sell players that are on high wages and are not performing. Then once we clear off the high wages, we can start thinking on what positions are we gonna spend money on effectively. Because as I told you before, Mo, we have Lukaku, Werner, and Ziyech potentially, in my opinion, that needs to be gone. And those three are on 700,000 plus a week alone. If you
sorry, did you? No, sorry, can I just interrupt? Did you just say Havertz?
No, I said Werner,
and Ziyech,
and
Lukaku.
Oh, Lukaku. I don't know about Werner. I don't know about Lukaku. Well, I don't know about Lukaku actually. That's a bit hit and miss, but yeah. Anyway, sorry. Just continue.
Oh yeah, no worries. So. Yeah, I look at it as assets, and I look at it as an investment. Are we gonna get how much are we gonna get in return from these guys? They're all, especially Ziyech and Lukaku, they're in their high 20s, going into 29 next summer. How is it worth it? I don't think so. Lukaku, if we can get 70 million, 60 million, 80 million, I'll take it and run. You know, because realistically, he doesn't want to be here. I think he's very toxic. I've seen him many times at Inter Milan, complaining and yelling and shouting at his teammates. I just don't think he's worth it. Ziyech, 28, 29 years old, half the season injured, 1 good game, 10 bad games. I'm tired of it. Werner, I actually personally like him. I like his attitude. I think he has done a lot to the team, but it's also time to go because you're at 272,000 a week. That's unacceptable with the returns he's getting us as well. That's not good enough. So adding Dembele to that bunch is a disastrous investment decision, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Let me hear from Chris. Chris, your take on this.
When Chris talk, it's like I'm talking, so I'm good.
I'm actually not looking at the screen. I'm trying to find a tweet that I saw earlier today. I wanna find it and put it on the screen. So I can't see what's going on the stream right now. So Chris, take it away.
Right. So I'll put my point towards this Dembele thing, and then I want to touch on what Julius said at the end there. In terms of Ousmane Dembele, sure. Right, at Borussia Dortmund, he was fantastic. He was fantastic. He was working under Tuchel, and hence that's why Barcelona paid that amount of money, because he was performing. He was touted to be the next best thing, wasn't it? Really, he was when he played at Dortmund. Then he went to Barcelona, and it's went downhill. And would I take him? Well, no, I wouldn't, because I can't say no. Well, remember when we were speaking about Eden Hazard, and I said I wouldn't take Hazard because of his injuries. So if I'm not willing to take Eden Hazard, I can't really say yes to Dembele, can I? That being said about Hazard, he actually scored tonight to win Real Madrid's game. So if he can keep up that form, then maybe I'll be looking at...
Did he celebrate?
I'm not...
I didn't see it.
I'm not sure, but all I know is he scored. But what I'm saying is, it looks like Hazard's trying to put egg on my face, mate, because I said that Hazard's not the same player. So if he can come back with a performance, I would take Hazard over Dembele. But in terms of Dembele, like Julius said, I'm not going to say he's a car. I'll say he's like a model. He looks fantastic if he can do it, but deep down, he's not delivering. He's not delivering for Barcelona. So... no, I wouldn't take him because it would just kind of... I mean, if I'm not willing to take Hazard back, I can't really say yes to Dembele. And it's both the same situation. Injuries. And if you can keep them fit and if you can get them performing to a good enough level, then that's a success. But it's ifs. It's ifs and buts. It's not a definite, is it? In terms of what Julie said about... what was it? Lukaku, right? Now, I supported Lukaku. Right? I liked Lukaku when he was at Inter. Man United, I thought he got unfair criticism. And then when he came to Chelsea, I was so happy. And like a lot of Chelsea supporters, we supported him. We were very happy, when he came back and scored against Aston Villa. And was it Brighton? Was it Brighton after that? Was it Brighton we played after that? Who did we play after Aston Villa? He scored after the Aston Villa.
Yeah, it was Brighton.
And we fought. Yeah, I think it was it Brighton. Yeah, and then they equalised. Yeah.
So I was thinking to myself, yes, Lukaku, he's back. And then this interview drops, and just like a lot of people that supported him, we thought, nah, we don't want it. If he'd ever done that interview, I would be saying, nah, we need to keep Lukaku. He's this and that. But if he's not in it, bye. See you later. Hasta luego. Back to Inter or wherever. So he's not a bad player. Lukaku's not a bad player. It's just his attitude, and he needs to. Honestly, the stuff I'm seeing after that. Keep your head down. Focus on the game. Don't be doing stupid handshakes with Kevin De Bruyne. Just keep your head down and go down the tunnel and show. He says he loves the club. Show you love the club then. Show you love the club instead of doing stupid stuff.
Chris, it's all this stupid stuff because you're taking it into context with the interview. I mean, him doing that handshake with Kevin De Bruyne, we would not have cared.
Yeah.
Had it been under normal circumstances, but because it's on the back of that, and a lot of things have changed on the back of the interview. Things that we would normally, wouldn't give any attention to. But because of the interview,
yeah.
things are going to change. So
Yeah.
from
Can I
that point
respond
of
to
view,
that, Chris? Sorry, Kasim.
if you respond, then also give me your point of view on Dembele, because
Right.
I'm trying to get
So
him on board.
can I
and
just
then
say quickly as well, if we do bring Dembele and Tuchel wants it, then I'll have to back the decision, because I've also said back Tuchel. And just a quick point as well, if Dembele is going to get back to his best and get back to the player that he wants to be, which is a world-class talent, hence why Barcelona paid him for that amount of money, then Tuchel is the best man to get out of him. So, yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It's weird. Anyway, go on, Eric.
Yeah, just to respond to the whole thing with De Bruyne, I would have had an issue with it. The only scenario where I wouldn't care is if we won the game. If we win the game, it doesn't matter what the players do at the end. But the fact that we didn't win and you're doing that, for me, it's just not like some people don't care about
Also, he done it with the player that scored against us as well.
He did it with the goal. He literally did it with the guy who scored the winning goal. So for me, you can't do it. Irrespective of the interview, you just it doesn't look right. It doesn't look good, and I think the interview just makes it worse. So that's the way I see it.
Eric Dembele.
Yes, Dembele. Okay, sorry. No, please no. I don't like that we're being linked with players with injury problems. Players with issues. And players who are not cheap. I don't. It doesn't make too much sense to me. Yes, I understand why people want them. I understand. It's like Monstar was saying earlier. If you just got a player and we didn't know what his name was, and we just found out about him, and he told us, okay, this is his injury record, this is how much he's on right now at his current club, everybody would say no. So I refuse to let my my sentiments or what he did how many years ago make me feel like he should be at the club. I feel as if it would just be yet another bad decision made by the club. So hopefully we don't do that. Hopefully we actually scout. It would be nice to scout like what other clubs are doing. Scout a player that we may not have heard about, who he comes in and he improves so much and he takes us to a different level. So that is what I'm hoping for. That's more like what I want to see. Something that helps us save money, as opposed to this big name who he won't really. For me, I don't think he would provide what we want. So that's it.
Yeah. I can go next. Yeah.
It's Boogeyman's turn, but if Boogeyman lets you go next, Boogeyman, did you let him go next? Yeah. All right, go on. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So basically about the Dembele thingy. So first of all, I would say he's a fantastic player. Yeah, and personally, even at the days of Dortmund, I've always tipped him to be the world best player. Like I just saw the talent in him; it was raw. But after going to Barca, everything just changed. Just the way Hazard left Chelsea to Real Madrid. But what I'm just looking in the whole issue is I would take Dembele only on two factors. First of all, we lighten up our wage structure. That's we let players go because we have players we literally do not need that are on massive wages. And Julius already told us that. So I don't really need to repeat it. Even we've got Kepa is on 155. Even our number one goalkeeper was on 60, Eduardo Mendy. So and is much more even, we use him for most of the games. So that's another talk for another day. Bad business by the board and the contract, everything. And now the second thing as well is if Dembele is actually going to get a little bit of a pay reduction, a wage reduction, because of course the signing on fee is fine. The wage reduction is currently at about, let's just say 250k, for example. And for him to actually sign for Chelsea, he has to go a little bit below 200k. And this is given that we've lightened up our wage structure, given that we've taken out some players out, or given that we have that in mind. The plan is going to happen in the summer. So aside from that, I do not think there's any reason. And the last thing, of course, given the fact that, of course, if everything works together and he becomes great, it will surely benefit the club. It's also his resale value. He's 24, 25. We could still, get the best out of him. If, this is now like just looking at the positive side of it, we could get the best of him if he could actually, play so well, and we could still sell him at a very good price, in the future. Now we're getting him for almost a free. If we could even in the future sell him for 50 million, that would still be a massive, good piece of business. From
if he has a couple of good seasons with Chelsea,
yeah,
we have a fantastic investment there.
Exactly.
If he has a couple of good seasons, injury free, and performs to the level that we know he can.
Yeah,
we'll
and
have
the
a
last
fantastic investment there.
The last thing I'll say is more of a joke, but it's like all the players we were positive about turned out bad. So this one we're negative about.
You never know. You never know. You never know. Yeah, good. Yeah.
But
Good
also,
one. Good one. True.
On that point, I mean, everyone was negative.
Chris, this is closing statements time, man. Closing statements time. You don't get to keep on interrupting, man. I'm gonna be here all night, man. I'm gonna be here all night. All right. Okay. You're good. You have anything else to add?
Yeah, no, that was it. That was the last.
Yeah, it's a good final point. Good final point. No, I totally agree. Everyone that we thought was going to be amazing turns out to be a pain in the arse, and so you never know. This guy might actually be amazing. So good way to look at it. Boogeyman, let me hear it.
I think I have 2 minutes, right? I will give 15 seconds.
You have 10 seconds.
Yo, Chris, say something. Say something. What did you want to
You
say?
have the whole. Take as long as you need.
I want to say something.
Yeah, Julius, take 15 seconds from me, man. No problem.
Go on, Julius.
I just want to say something real quick about Liverpool because they just won and they're gonna meet us in the final.
They are.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they have. It's 2-0. They won 2-0.
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I just hope they turn up to the game. I mean, I hope they don't call the game off like they like to do. And Arsenal.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, Julius, go on.
Yeah.
Let Julius finish.
You wanted just to say we meet in Liverpool. Okay, sorry.
No, let him finish his statement and then we'll move on. Go on, Julius.
Okay. No, I just wanna kind of say to people because I'm really getting tired of this Liverpool hype and that they are the actual contenders and we need to look up to them. And they always being considered as the team who pushed City and stuff. They competed with City once in the league when they won it, and then once before they competed with City once and City ended up winning it, and that was it. When Liverpool won the league, there was no competition. City was not even in the race. The other thing, Tuchel has achieved almost as much as Klopp in 7 years. Tuchel did it in 1 year. The second thing...
No. In 6 months. In 6 months.
In 6 months. And then I want to include also like the Club World Cup very soon. That's what I mean. But
okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And then the other thing I want to say, and this is just for people in general giving Liverpool too much respect, which I don't get why. Chelsea has won more trophies than Liverpool since Klopp came over. We've won every single trophy out there since Klopp came here. So people need to put some respect on us as much as they put respect on Liverpool. And that biasness from the media and the pundits and ex-footballers and fans is absolutely disgusting and ridiculous. But you know what? We're going to keep proving everyone wrong and we're going to keep making haters get frustrated more. And yeah, that's it. I had to let this out because it annoys me.
All right. I'm gonna. Have I heard from Showtime on the better situation? I haven't, have I? So I'm gonna hear from Showtime. Boogie, you threw your time away, mate. That's your fault.
No. So but I'm happy. Every time I let Chris spoken, I'm happy. Julius.
Boogie, big up, Boogie.
When I put those two statements together, is exactly what I wanted to say. Thanks to you guys, man. Mo is a hater. That's all it is, man.
I'm not gonna comment. Man. It's just gonna get out of control. Showtime. Let me hear your situation. Let me hear your perception. perspective, your position on Dembele, mate?
And
In,
then-
out.
I mean,
what do you think?
I mean, it depends. There's things that, like, all you guys have said, that there's certain factors that play into Dembele coming. Knowing Marina, all my love for Marina. If one player's coming in, two players got to go. So I'm looking forward to who's leaving. I mean, like for like, if Pulisic is going, I'm happy as an American. I want Pulisic gone. I'm not even happy with Pulisic. Let him go. I want Barkley off the books as soon as possible. And then if Dembele comes in, he has to understand he must not make more than N'Golo Kante. I don't think no player on our squad deserves more than N'Golo. I don't even care if it's Lukaku. I don't even think he deserves more than NG. But other than that, I mean, and Dembele, he married a nice Muslim lady, so I'm happy. It seems like he has a nice head on his shoulders.
Well, that's got nothing to do with nothing, man. It
does. It means his characteristics is going to be good,
It's got nothing to do with nothing, man. It's got nothing
we
to do
have a
with
good
nothing.
wife, happy home, happy life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's got nothing to do with nothing. Listen. I'm going to show you guys a picture of this is a picture of Dembele and Pulisic at Chelsea, potentially at Chelsea. No, at Chelsea. At Chelsea. This is what it would look like when we have Pulisic and Dembele playing for Chelsea. Check it out.
Fast.
So Dembele.
Oh my god.
Potentially.
Wow.
But actually, it is true, man. It is true. But I mean, listen. And the worst is he's making that much money, and he come here, sit there. Man, listen, we've seen enough. We want actual players. We want people that can physically handle the EPL. Enough is enough, man.
Ruben.
Yeah, just for a few seconds to speak on what Julius was saying. We're gonna show them. We're gonna show Liverpool in that final.
Yeah, well,
Salah, Man FC.
Guys. All right. We played on Sunday, so the pre-match stream is going to be on Saturday evening. Tomorrow is Friday evening.
Mm-hmm.
Today's Thursday, so tomorrow's Friday. Do you guys have any ideas in respect to tomorrow? Shall we do a news roundup stream? Shall we take a break? Shall we focus on a particular topic? Guys in the chat, you're included in this discussion. So if you guys have any ideas of what you want to talk about tomorrow, hit me up in the chat. Let me know. Otherwise, we might just take a break tomorrow. So let me know in the chat what you guys want to do tomorrow.
Also,
panelists,
guys,
what do you guys want to do tomorrow?
While you're in the chat, don't forget to like the video. Come on, get the likes up.
Doesn't cost anything, guys. It just doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
Just click a like.
Yesterday, we were trolled, by the way, in case you guys don't know.
Why?
We were trolled. Someone apparently made like 40 accounts. Yeah, no, I'm serious. They made 40 accounts. They subscribed with all of their accounts. They liked the stream with all of their accounts. Yeah, they did. And then after the stream, they unliked and unsubscribed with 40 accounts. Because if you actually look on the last stream, you look at the number of likes, we actually left it at around 160, 170, something like that. It's back to 115. And and the number of subscribers also dropped down by 40 subscribers in overnight.
Some people have too many times on their hands.
They have too much time on their hands. Seriously. So if you are gonna like the stream,
Abdul in the comment. Abdul keeps getting on my case. Can you just relax?
I'm just saying,
please?
Eric was the cheerleader yesterday. Eric was doing a good job. He had no idea what was going. And by the way, just some stats for you guys. The most likes we've had on a stream is 1.9 thousand likes. So on a video, 1.9 thousand likes on one video. But that video also happens to have had 172,000 views. So it's in ratio, it isn't that many likes. Live on air, we've actually had 330 likes on one stream live on air. But that was a stream that had 15,000 views. So our numbers fluctuate depending on the topic, depending on the story, depending on there's a lot of factors. However, there is a core of viewers on my streams, and I see you guys every single time I go live, and I know who you are, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And then this core is what keeps the channel going. So I want to say thank you to all of you, and once we hit that 10,000 subscriber milestone, we are gonna do something for you guys, because once we hit the 10,000 subscriber milestone, I will dedicate a stream for you guys, and only people who have been subscribed for 10 days will be able to partake in that stream. Okay, and you will be the ones given the opportunity to win a Chelsea shirt. I might do something else with the shirt, but you will be given at least a chance to win a Chelsea shirt. And the only people who can enter that stream and enter that giveaway are people who have been subscribed to my channel for a minimum of 10 days. So I want to give something back to you guys. The guys who have been with us from the beginning, who have been part of this journey. So big thank you to all of you. We have been going.
Suggestion.
Go on, Boogie.
Do we
Go on,
know
Boogie.
anything? Look at you.
I'm trying to end. I'm trying to end the
Do you know
stream.
anything about the team we're playing in the World Cup, whatever the tournament?
I haven't got a
No.
clue.
Okay,
It's not been
you're looking for
announced.
idea, right? You're looking for idea for tomorrow, so I'm thinking maybe talking about those teams. And I don't know, man. You know what I'm trying to say.
I don't even think
Yeah.
have they even played to qualify for the semi-final?
No,
don't think they
because I think it's next week. I think it's next week
I've got an
they
idea. I've
start
got an idea
playing.
for a video tomorrow. I reckon we should just laugh at Arsenal Football Club and Spurs. I think we should just laugh at them for the full stream. I don't know. That's an idea. That's an idea.
We
I don't know.
we don't actually need to laugh because everybody else is doing it. I mean, I don't know how much joy we get, and to be honest, the worst enemy for Arsenal Football Club is their fan base, because they are doing some madness. I'm not going to go into details about you all know what I'm talking about. They're going into madness. Arsenal
Let's not
fan
talk about,
TV, Arsenal, it's crazy. It's crazy. But it is what it is. Crazy
and
clubs
their
have
fans.
crazy fans.
Yeah, and their fans are
so-
deluded as well. They're living.
Yeah. No, I mean, let's avoid the topic. Listen, guys, we've had 108 likes. I want to say something. Big up to Monstar. Big up to Monstar. And I'm gonna say this to you guys, and I'm gonna say it honestly because it needs to be said. It needs to be said. And I've said this privately, but I've not said this publicly. But I am gonna say this. The Chelsea community is very, what's the word here? Divided, and it's very difficult to get people to come on streams and to come on shows unless there is something in it for them. I've tried many a time. Monstar, I've asked him once to come on, and he said to me, DM me and we'll arrange it. And I DM'd him and we arranged it. All right. I've tried with other YouTubers, and believe you me, it is so difficult to get people to do something unless there is something in it for them. All right, so big up to Monstar for coming on and taking his time and debating and discussing with us and the people in the chat. I appreciate him for that. And I'm sincere when I said this is his channel, this is his his place. He's welcome here anytime. And that's what I want to see in the Chelsea community. I want to see people have that that flexibility, that humbleness. The guy that you're going to see on the stream on Monday, he is of that caliber. He is someone who I have seen, I have followed. He's got a massive account on Twitter. He's got a decent sized channel on YouTube. The guy is, someone who has a lot of opinions, a lot of good opinions, good knowledge, good insight, and he's very active. He's very active when it comes to social media and Chelsea Football Club. So again, I only asked him one time, and he said, "Yeah, I'll be more than happy to come on." And he's coming on. He's coming here on Monday. I am trying to bring people on the stream. I am trying to reach out and get people to partake. You've seen we've had a few journalists on. We've got a few YouTubers on that have come on. Will be coming on. I'll be reaching out to more people, and if people want to come here, they're more than welcome. This is a forum for everyone. This is a platform for everyone to come on and share their opinions. So yeah, that's where we are. So again, thank you to everyone who's partake in the stream, especially the special guest Monstar and Julius, Max Burton, Showtime, Tobago, Hockey, Chris, Eric, Boogeyman, Couch Critic. Who am I missing? Am I missing anyone?
Max.
I said Max Burton.
Oh, you did.
You're missing yourself.
I did.
You are elite.
Yeah, yourself. You miss yourself.
Aye, listen. I'm here for everyone. I'm here for everyone, and the people in the chat. Big up to all of you. Big up to Abdul B. Big up to MCIG. Big up to John. Big up to Tobago. Big up to Elijah. Big up to I'm gonna miss people, so I'm just gonna say big up to everyone because you're all special. You're all. Come on, man. I wanted one stream without you mentioning her name, man. One stream. You can't do it. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. Showtime, he says you got to thank Marina, man. Why am I thanking Marina? What has she done for me? What has Marina done for me, man? She hasn't done nothing to me, man, or for me. So the minute she starts funding the Blue Lounge and supporting give me a sponsorship deal, and then I'll say yeah, big up to you and thank you.
I'll call her for
guys.
You. No worries.
Give her a call. Tell her Blue Lounge, a good channel on more to 10K. Support us. People, I'll see you all potentially tomorrow, definitely on Saturday. Have a good night. Take care of yourselves.
Up the Chelsea.
Peace.
See you later.
Up the Chelsea.